Hey there, Bitizens, and welcome to a Killer Bits podcast. Today I'm joined by...
John?
PT.
And nobody else.
That's it.
That's it. It's just us.
And this is my first ever podcast, so I'm pretty hype about this.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new thing for us, obviously. I mean, we've said about maybe doing it before, but this seemed like a good opportunity, because it's E3!
Yeah! I love E3. It's like, it's basically like binging on everything gaming before the summer drought, where there are no games. It's like, here's everything you need to now spend the next, 3 months waiting for.
Yeah, here's what you'll
3
be
months
spending
if you're
Christmas
lucky.
doing.
3 months if you're lucky. It tends to be, here's something we might bring out next year.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that. Well, I think we're going to go through who's guilty of that.
Yep, so the conference kicked off with Bethesda, which
I suppose
didn't
actually it
watch.
started last week, really, with Oculus, but nobody cares about VR, do they?
Yeah, Oculus isn't really mainstream enough currently that you're going to have that many people watching it. Although they did announce that cool tie-in with Microsoft, so you're going to have...
Yeah, everybody gets a controller.
I thought Microsoft were all like, the controller is your body, and now they're like, nah, we need some controller company to help.
But yeah, so we had Bethesda, and I didn't watch it. I'm gonna freely admit that right now. I
didn't stay up and watch it. I watched the VOD afterwards. Because that was on 2 o'clock in the morning here, so it would have been 3 o'clock for you, wouldn't it, Fred?
Yeah, Central Europe is just everything is later. It was the same with Sony. Sony was 3 o'clock, didn't watch that one either. If it was past my bedtime, I like games, but I also like sleep, and then it becomes a tipping point where sleep wins, and usually that's about 3 a.m.
Oh, sleep always accidentally wins for me. I did stay up to watch the Bethesda conference, and it blew me away. It was a great start, and I was really worried about the big boys, Sony and Microsoft. But not
because it was Bethesda's first time at doing it, wasn't it? And they did actually put on a pretty slick show.
Yes, slick is the word. I have to say they just streamlined everything to be bigger and better and bigger and better, and then they showed off some Dishonored 2, and it was bigger and better again.
Yeah, I mean, that really did throw me. I was expecting Dishonored 2 to... Because everybody knew it was coming. It had been leaked, a couple of days beforehand, but I was expecting Dishonored 2 to look very much like Dishonored. That kind of very almost cel-shaded, stylized look. But they've gone for a more kind of photorealistic... I mean, there's a bit of stylization in there, but they've gone for a more realistic look.
That's about it.
I think it's kind of brave of them to do that, because nowadays a lot of games, when you're getting into the 4s, the 5s, whatever Assassin's Creed is currently on, developers have been playing it very safe, and that's why generally you don't see a lot of new IPs announced. You'll get 1 or 2, but a lot of the times it's sequels and sequels and sequels, because it's oh, this works, we're going to do it again. This works, we're going to do it again. So for Bethesda to start to kind of branch out a little bit more, I think that's a good move by them.
They're doing just sequels this year.
Yeah, well, it's a case of... No, they did have one new IP, which was... What was it? I've got it on my list here somewhere. Battle Cry.
That looks great.
Yeah, but I mean...
Yeah.
Everybody's doing that kind of third-person action MOBA, Team Fortress type thing, because Bethesda's got Battle Cry.
Yeah.
Didn't Microsoft show off, what was it, Gigantic? There's Blizzard's got Overwatch. Everyone's doing this kind of team-based battle arena type thing with kind of slight hints of kind of the whole MOBA type idea. So
wasn't there a chivalry? How do you know? Whatever. Chivalry-esque one done by EA for Honor? No, Ubisoft. It was Ubisoft. I think it was for Honor, and it was 4v4 team-based, not military stuff.
It was Vikings versus samurai versus knights.
Yeah, ancient historic thing.
It does actually look really good.
That's what's making money at the moment. They're multiplayer team games, and if they can throw in a few microtransactions and cosmetic items, then so much the better, I guess. It's
all about microtransactions. It's all about that dollar.
That's sweet dollar. What else did we have? We had Fallout 4, which has it still has a dog. I think this is the selling point for me. I have zero interest in Fallout.
If you can name the dog, I'm naming it Riley and then shooting it.
I've never played Fallout. I watched my brother play it, and it was hey, look, now it's slow-mo. Ha! We shot him in the dick. And I'm just What? Like, why would you play a shooter where you can slow down time and guarantee your shot? Okay, you don't guarantee them, you have like a hit percentage. And then he's like, oh man, I got too much stuff. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stash it on this corpse for now because, you know, no one will find it there. And then like trundled along. And then he's like, oh look, here's my dog. I'm going to shoot him in the face. And I'm just, nah, I'm done. I'm done. Like,
oh man, I broke my arm. Better drink some water.
And,
I
like,
can take the rats, it's alright.
Of the last three. Like, I understand the whole... I know what a Pip-Boy is, I know what bottle caps are, like, I'm not completely out of the loop, but... I mean, I don't know that much about it. This one's got a dog, though, and it's probably another post-apocalyptic world.
Well, the thing
yeah,
that
but
struck
this
me about
post-apocalyptic
this
world is blue. It's got colour in it. It's not
they
like...
finally added colour.
Yeah.
Like, they've upgraded their screens from being, like, 16 colour, like, Apple IIs. And,
it's not just shades of yellow and green.
Actually, you know, we can spend all this money we made on Skyrim, and not the Elder Scrolls Online, and spend it on new screens for Fallout 4. The thing that really struck me about the Fallout 4 reveal and trailers and gameplay, blah, 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 was how much they're showing off already. Like, everything Fallout, they've slipped into the trailers and gameplays already. Like, there's nothing hidden in there.
Yeah, but I mean, the big thing
Fallout
about it that they showed off is obviously it's got the crafting in it and that, but you can actually make these buildings in engine sort of thing. That was really cool. I did like that.
Yeah. But it's all single player. Like, no one's going to appreciate your fantastic monstrosity of a fortress.
You stream it online or Bethesda.net, whatever they've called it.
The other thing that a lot of the developers are doing now is doing like iOS tie-ins.
Yes.
Speaking of like when we're speaking about Fallout Shelter is coming out, which I think is
It's out on iOS.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fantastic name. Well, my iPad is currently gathering dust on the floor by itself. So like I don't really use it that much since getting my beautiful.
Could have been playing Fallout Shelter.
It sounds like I don't know, like a Fallout Boy, their new album. You know, Fallout Shelter. It's definitely a clever title, but iOS seems to be like the let's tie everything in. Let's have this like little bonus game.
Because it's not just the Fallout Shelter mini game though. They're also doing their whole app for the Pip-Boy Special Edition.
Yeah.
So if you get bored of playing Fallout, you can instead play with your Pip-Boy.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean...
It's basically like, instead of sitting like on the loo playing a phone game, you can sit
and
on
check
Fallout
your
4
stats.
playing a phone game. Like,
And I'm not going to take my Pip-Boy off. Like, I'm going to go to work wearing that damn thing. Like, I'm going to fuse it to my... I will weld shut the plastic closing clamp at the back and throw away the display stand saying I will never need this again. And then if I ever need to use my phone properly, I'll have to be like, oh, man. Oh.
But I feel like it's like playing a phone game, like playing a phone game within a game. We're gonna like we're going too far into the.
No, you're playing the game within your phone to the game.
Yeah, but even the guy actually flogging it on stage said it's a stupid gimmick, but it's a fucking cool gimmick.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. There's no such thing as a stupid gimmick. We just call them gimmicks.
Yeah.
And you know, he's right. Every gimmick is stupid. Well, that's what I say, because I'm right about that. But this is really cool.
Wow. Are you advertising Forza now?
Yeah, like Forza just happened. That was unexpected.
Oh dear.
This is why I can't record in my house.
Moving away from Fallout, they also had the was it like the Hearthstone-esque one?
Oh yeah.
They had the Elder Scrolls Hearthstone Legends.
Yeah. Everybody needs to have a collector's card game now, don't they?
Yes, they do, because they're cheap and easy to make and easy to sell. Lots and lots of units.
And lots of microtransactions. You can buy more, you know.
I don't know. I've never really gotten into an online card game. Like I played Hearthstone, but then I'm just like, if it's kind of feels like pay to win, then I just can't be asked. Like Hearthstone for me is kind of pay to win, and people are like, oh no, you can sit and grind for 8 million years, and you'll have enough cards, and then you can be the best.
I have played.
Do you play against pirates?
There are pirates in it.
This is what people sound like to me.
Okay.
But like, you can't do that. Like, if you want to be the best, and like, if I have been taught anything, it's that I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Like, this has been ingrained into my brain since like Pokemon Red came out. Like, I can't be bothered to play that long to be the best. Like, I just want to be able to sit down and play and be the best without giving them all my money. Like, they already take all my money when I play Heroes of the Storm. And like Elder Scrolls Legends, I feel like I feel like it'll appeal to a certain audience, but I also think that it doesn't have the same amount of lore behind it as Warcraft, which is gonna. I guess it does have some.
Elder Scrolls has
Warcraft is
lore.
bigger than Elder Scrolls in terms
you
of lore.
have no idea.
But I mean, one of the appealing things about Hearthstone is it's a bit cheesy. I mean, it's got all that gimmicks and things like that. Whereas Elder Scrolls is a bit more serious. You know, how many kind of sweet rolls can you throw in there? You know, it's a case of I don't think it's going to have kind of the humour that Hearthstone has, because I mean, a lot of kind of Blizzard stuff is slightly tongue in cheek at times.
Yeah, I think Blizzard are good at kind of, in some ways, also making fun of themselves, which I think is something that's quite great. Like with Hearthstone, you have like Leroy Jenkins, which is spawned from a YouTube video of a guy like diving into an instance. Whereas I don't know if Elder Scrolls has the same level of same level of kind of history and that you can put the humor into it, because I think you need a little bit of humor in a kind of card game to keep people kind of enthralled.
And especially if it's a mobile game, it is just kind of that cheesy, you know, meme-filled thing of, you know, it is that kind of quick hit, and you want a gimmick and a joke and that about it. You don't want to get too involved. Yeah, so I don't think any of these other card games are really going to work. But anyway,
they'll try.
Anyway, one of the other big things that Bethesda showed off was obviously Doom.
Big Doom reveal.
Yeah, that's how they kicked off the whole thing. Obviously, people had seen some of the footage 6 months ago, whatever it was, at QuakeCon, but they're actually showing it for kind of the public this time, and it does look really nice. It does look really cool.
It looked very scripted, what they were showing us.
It was all the movement was all too slick, and that wasn't kind of somebody playing it. That was all very, very scripted.
That's E3 though. Like when I grow up, I want to be an actor whose job it is to pretend to play video games at E3. Like so often they're like these live gameplay, and it's like live. Yeah.
It would be great as a challenge map though. That one level that they showed off with everything impossibly close together and overbalanced to make you OP until you have to get killed at the end.
Yeah. But I mean,
I did say as I was watching it that what will happen is you will find the BFG, and then Cyber Demon will run out, and then you start charging. But before he gets to fire the BFG shot, it goes Doom, and then 5 minutes later they show that exact video. Yeah. It's great.
But I mean, another thing they showed off with the Doom thing was their new kind of designer level type thing. What was it? Snap map, which if you can actually do that on consoles as well, that is going to be very cool. But
I'm sure they will.
Because they're saying they're powering it with their new website, Bethesda Net or something, which is currently powering Elder Scrolls Online, which again nobody cares about. I think that for that whole kind of 5 minutes they were talking about Elder Scrolls Online, everybody kind of checked out when checked the emails and things like that in this audience. Nobody really cared.
Yeah, I actually left the room and then came back.
I mean, I was sleeping, so clearly, you know, it really wasn't that exciting, that whole Elder Scrolls Online bit. I may have been sleeping for the entirety, but I was definitely sleeping for the Elder Scrolls Online bit. I don't know, online, like MMOs, sorry, it's a tough market, and they've just made it free, and I keep getting these marketing emails because I played in the beta, and then there was like lack of textures on freaking everything, and I was like, why does this box have like big red writing that says like input texture all over it? And at that point I was like, I couldn't be bothered. Like, it was a month before release, and I think like in some ways they shot themselves in the foot when they did the open beta. But I keep getting emails being like, come back and we'll give you like a free, I don't know, probably like a mount or a pet or something cosmetic that I care about.
Yeah. So if you join the Doom beta, then you see big blocky graphics, you just think it's retro mode.
Yes. But you know they will actually stick something in there. There'll be a hidden level which will be an old school Doom level. You know that.
Like Romero's head lying around. It's gonna happen, like, obviously.
Oh man, Doom! I'm actually excited for Doom. We used to hide it on the school computers. Like, you had to find a folder where the admins wouldn't find it. So then, like, in your lunch break, because you know I was a nerd, or like at the end of class, you could sneakily all LAN together and then get some cheeky Doom in until they found the files and deleted them. At which point, someone else would have to sneakily hand around a USB, and you'd have to find somewhere new to put it.
Damn, you had USBs when you were at school. I had to have floppies.
Yeah, we had Quake on several floppy disks.
John had floppy. I'm not even going to go where that inherently is going to go. In fact, I think we should move on.
Yeah, moving on.
Like, I'm trying to think of how we can segue with that, but we can't. We just literally have to put a full stop.
We're drawing a line across John's floppy and moving on to... I think we should move on to Microsoft.
But I do want to say
absolutely.
Bethesda did do a good job. I was impressed with their show.
Yeah, marks out of 32 for Bethesda.
So, Microsoft kicked things off with the Halo, where it's like drop in, drop out multiplayer. I don't know. It seemed like every other Halo ever. And like since
that's every other Halo ever. It's Halo syndrome.
Yeah, but since it swapped hands, I don't know. I feel like Halo 4. I went to the midnight release. That was one of the very few games that I went to the midnight release of, and I had a dress that I made out of a t-shirt. Basically, you got a free t-shirt with your pre-order, but the t-shirt only came in like large and extra large sizes. So I was like, my torso fits through the head hole of this t-shirt. I will turn it into a dress. And I went and I got the game and played through the campaign. Like through the night. That was one of the few games I've done that with, and it just felt like So now like Halo 5 is coming out, and my entire like perception of Halo since 3 is just tarnished with
I mean, it does look good, but I've never been big into Halo and that, so it is one of those. You have to have been there from the start, and you have to kind of be a fan of kind of the multiplayer and that. But yeah. It was going to. You knew they were going to kick off with Halo. That was pretty much a given right from the start that they were going to kick off with Halo.
Yeah, I don't know. Halo, I feel like it became too much like Call of Duty and then lost a lot of its fan base. But
it's Call of Duty, but it's not every year. It's every 3 years.
The jury is out. We will see.
Yeah,
I'm not quite ready to jump ship. I'm not quite like I can't ever play Halo games again. But I'm a bit like I'm too worried. Though they then did announce an awesome new IP, which looks awesome. I just awesome. Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Oh, it's not Lego. It's not Lego, but it's a game called Recall, where you have like an orb that's like the soul of a robot.
How to win over an audience? Stick a dog in it, even if it's a robot dog.
But it's okay because he got exploded, and then they took his core, his soul, and put it into like a monkey robot, or it was like.
And they decided to rip off Half-Life 2 episode.
Yeah.
Well, he got recalled, and also the protagonist looked like a woman, so I guess thumbs up in terms of like Tumblr.
Tennyson was a woman.
I can't remember. Who are the?
Hey, you can't just assume.
Who are the devs behind that one? I can't remember.
I know it's. I'm gonna ruin a Japanese name.
Yes, Inafune.
Yeah. Inafune.
Yeah, it's Metroid Prime.
Kaiji.
Metroid Prime devs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
So that looked pretty
if Toby
cool.
was here, he'd know.
Yes, Toby would kick all our asses. But I mean, the big thing that they did actually start off their kind of press event with was, Phil Spencer walking on stage and going, "We know what you want, backwards compatibility."
Oh, that was pretty good.
That's huge. That is because the Sony equivalent is paying far too much for games you already own.
Yeah, that was a good move. I mean,
that was their drop the mic moment, but they did it right at the start of the event.
I think it was like so everyone's minds were just like blown, so like everything else just seemed like a bonus. I mean, the fact that like you can put your old discs into your Xbox One and then install them onto the console and stuff, I think is
because I mean,
because it's not just like if you've got digital games, they've done it for your old hardware as well. So like I'm just planning on exploding my 360. Like I'm gonna have like one of those will it blend moments but with fireworks. It's gonna be great.
But they didn't go into detail how they're going to do it, but it's essentially, if you've got it in your digital library, it's going to be attached to your player ID and it'll just download. If you've got the disc, you put the disc in, it reads the disc and goes, okay, and then still downloads it from the cloud, essentially. It's not actually reading the disc or anything. It is just going to be digital, and it's just installing it, but it's recognising you've got the disc.
Now that's a problem with the disc being incompatible with the drive.
Yeah.
So Sony have a new console with a Blu-ray drive which runs DVDs and CDs, and I'm pretty sure every single one of their console generations is covered by said specifications.
Does anybody remember those old PlayStation discs, the black ones?
The black in colour,
Yeah.
they were
Yes.
still just CDs.
Yeah, no, but they were cool. It was black CDs.
I know, yeah. There was a musician who released an album on the PlayStation Black CDs this year.
I think the backwards compatibility is definitely going to be fun. I think also the fact that they were like devs, like if you want to implement this feature, like approach us. So they're going to launch a lineup of X number, but they should be rolling out more in the future.
Start with, wasn't it, or something they were saying?
Yeah, they've got a whole list, like, and I've seen some screenshots of people who are on the like Xbox preview partners program or whatever, and they've put in like Viva Pinata discs and stuff, and it just shows them like installing the game.
Is that making you happy, Fran? It's got Viva Pinata.
I love Viva Pinata, but I am pissed off because Rare was not all like Viva Pinata 3, bitches.
You're getting like Viva Pinata and Trouble in Paradise for the Xbox One.
Which I already own for my Xbox 360, which is like plugged in right next to me. No, we needed more pinatas. We needed a bigger garden. Like, we needed it to set it up so I could, like, cage in all the other pinatas so they didn't start eating each other, like, mercilessly. And, like, more color variations of each pinata so I could spend all of my time Googling the color variations and planning who I was going to breed it to. Like, I took this game way too seriously.
Okay, but
yeah,
that leads nicely into Rare. Rare were there in a big way as well, weren't they? I mean, they initially started off with their... We've been doing this for 30 years, so here's a box game with 30 games for 30 quid.
It was $30, not even 30 quid, although it'll be 30 quid.
Yeah, it'll be 30 quid here, yeah.
I think that's a bargain. It's got stuff like Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, Viva Pinata. Like that's 5 games. You don't even need the other 25 at this point.
Yeah, they're
Battletoads.
Battletoads. They're like developing stuff now.
Yeah, just like these are our other games. we haven't actually made them yet.
Yeah,
but they did show off their new game.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Oh gosh, that looks so good.
It's basically they go, oh look, Black Flag's good. Everybody loves pirates. Let's make a pirates game.
Absolutely. Online Black Flag is exactly what I want to play right now.
I'm all for it. I think it's good. But I think what Rare does well is they evolve and they adapt in terms of the kind of games that they make. And that's why they're kind of still going. Like, I think this new IP, Sea of Thieves, is going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's good for Xbox to be showing off new IPs because that's what everyone wants nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, like Fallout 4 or Halo 5 or whatever is like exciting, and it's like, yes, these games are great. Yes, we're hyped. But if someone can show off a genuinely good new IP, I think for me that is actually more exciting. Which is why I think with Recall and with Sea of Thieves, they were good calls by Microsoft to kind of push. One thing I'm not so hype about, Xbox game previews, like, oh, let's take Steam Greenlight and put it on the Xbox. Like, no.
It's gonna generate more indies in the long run.
Yeah, but the way they kicked that off was actually getting what was it? Daisy guy, Dean Rocket Hall, to show his new game, which nobody knows what it is. What was it? Ion or something, and it just starts looking like the beginning of Gravity, and then you fly off into space. What the fuck is the game? Nobody knows.
Oh, I love how
it's very E3 preview-ish.
Yeah. Though. Yeah, I love how E3 they're just like, here is a teaser. You have absolutely no idea what this game is, but like we made this cool cinematic for you, and like look, now it's pretty, and we're gonna flash words on the screen, and like that'll get you hyped. Like we'll put famous people's names, and then suddenly the name will slowly emerge from the dust, and then it'll say like Holiday 2000 and a million, because like it's in America, and in America there is only one holiday per year, and that is apparently Christmas.
Yeah.
Like I'm going on holiday in August, so are these games coming out in August? No, but like, I don't know which holiday it's going to be. I'm confused.
Speaking of holiday, lots of indies were announced.
Yeah, but I mean, they normally do that kind of sizzle reel of all their indies, but they did actually bring back one that they had in their sizzle reel, but everybody wants to watch and see more of it. Cuphead.
Yeah, it looked like a Disney
Cuphead looks
program. It looks like Steamboat Willie.
iWorks.
And it's a shooter, and it's, it's all hand-drawn, and it looks awesome, and I want it now.
Yeah, Cuphead looked pretty cool.
Astoundingly good looking. It's probably the best of the indies.
Yeah.
I'm always just happy when they show off indies that aren't pixel art. Not to shit
There
all
weren't
over
that many.
pixel art, but like we have been doing it to death for the
Yes.
last few years, and it's just like
Give us something new. Give us something different.
it's like, why do you think we like have nice new shiny graphics of each of the kilobits? Because pixel art is no longer cool, people.
Yeah.
What else did they have? Ooh, they have a new controller, which I think looks actually amazing.
Oh, what
The
their
$150 modular
elite
controller.
one with the elite price tag.
I don't even care. Like the Xbox 360 controller is by far and away the best controller. Or the Xbox controller,
Yeah.
actually. Xbox One is
Xbox
better
One.
than the 360 one.
Yeah,
But
Xbox One is
Xbox
better.
has been periodically making controllers. And like when you buy games on Steam or whatever that are controller compatible, it always has button mappings for the Xbox
Yeah.
controller. Like if you're going to buy a controller
I mean,
for your computer, likewise for your Xbox, you buy an Xbox controller because
Yeah.
they're so good.
But I mean, this one out of the box is going to be compatible with Windows 10 because they made a big point of that as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I've got to buy a dongle for mine.
Oh,
We've gone from floppies to dongles.
Yeah.
And
Oh dear.
But I like it. I like the fact that you can kind of customize different parts of it to suit your playstyle. I like that you can like.
it's got flappy
Was
paddles.
it called like feather twitching with the shoulder button so that
Yeah.
you only press them down slightly to be able to shoot?
It's
So
hair trigger.
yeah, that's the one, hair
Hair
trigger.
trigger, yeah.
And you've got these like extra button things on the back. It's just and it has a regular freaking audio jack and not like a stupid Microsoft one that requires an adapter for like the kind of headset that everyone uses.
Sony totally already has one of those.
Yeah, the Sony controller is like
So.
subpar.
What are you talking about? It's significantly better.
Really? Do you actually think that, or are
Significantly
you just
better
saying
than the
that for the
PS3
sake of
one.
it?
The touchscreen gives me another couple of touch areas.
You
I
got
like
more
to
to
stroke
touch.
it.
You got more to touch.
Yeah, you've
And
got
you-
to touch your dongles. And your floppies.
It's all about the innuendo here.
There
The
was
last go.
I'm sorry. There was one thing I noticed about the new controller, which got me kind of excited,
Okay.
was how it was so expensive. My recent purchase of the current Xbox One controller didn't feel as bad. I was like, oh shit, I just bought one.
It made you feel better, did it?
Yeah, because I was like, ha, only elitist idiots are going to buy that. Not idiots, you're not idiots. Anyone who's watching this
So,
is
what?
definitely going to buy one.
What? You're
I
giving
put money
yourself like
down
a
for the-
month, 2 months before you actually buy one yourself?
Yeah, I put money down for the Pip-Boy edition thingy-majig, and that's just like a $60 piece of plastic that someone could 3D print for next to nothing.
See, I feel like the reason I'm probably more hyped than you guys about the new controller is also because my partner works for Microsoft, so I can probably get one for like only a slightly ridiculous price as opposed to like an astronomically ridiculous price. And we can tend to get Nintendo first party game, not Nintendo games from Microsoft, no,
Yeah.
Microsoft first party games, which brings us nicely to Gears of War 4.
Yes.
I'm so
Yes.
excited. I love
You know,
Gears of War.
it was a very good trailer. Just every little bit of like weather effect. Or,
It
like, different
felt a
kind
little
of
tech demo-y.
fluids and things.
Let's show
I
off all
loved
the
it.
weather and things like that. So it did feel a bit
Yeah.
tech demo.
Are you kidding? He used his like gun chainsaw to cut open a gate. John, what more do you need in life? Like,
It was
Let's
pretty
face it,
cool.
he could have kicked that gate open. He just wanted to
No,
do it
no,
for
because the
effect.
wind was so strong.
Yeah,
Thanks
from
to
the
the
weather
amazing
effects.
weather effects. It was so good.
It did look good.
It got covered in goop.
Yes.
Like glow goop.
Oh,
I
it
love
shorted
Gears of
out
War.
my flashlight. At least you glow now.
Yeah, and also it's Gears 4.
Yeah, Gears 4.
Yeah.
And they tied it in also with the Gears of War Ultimate, which is like a remake of the first one. But I don't know. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't announce a remake and then be like, also, don't care about this because new game. Like, I can play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can install Gears of War 1 onto my Xbox 360 with the backwards compatibility, and then I don't even need to buy the remake, and thus I can then enjoy Gears 4 and Gears 1 at a lower price.
You should tell them that, and then they'll remove the
I
feature
think plenty of people have already
compatibility.
told them that on the internet. It is the internet after all.
I'm not going to buy your remake, so therefore remove this great feature that makes you better than Sony, so that Peter is
You'll be
happy.
surprised.
Peter
You'll be
is not
surprised how many
happy.
people comment in such a way as if they need to be listened to. Speaking of which, please leave comments your feelings about Gears of War.
Other first-party titles, though, they showed off Forza, more car porn as usual. What was it? They,
I'm just-
they
Oh,
had the Ford GT drop through the ceiling. Which,
Yeah, and then they
Yeah,
quickly
that
like
was a
levered it back up.
Yeah.
Like they were like, "Here is the Ford GT. We've been paid loads of money by Ford to show you this car." And then as they were showing the trailer, like someone at the top was like, "Quick,
they're
get
quick
rid
to
of
the
it!"
camera of it raising
Yeah.
up.
Like, get rid of it before we cut back to the studio. And so they took that away. The one thing I want from Forza is I want, this time, when I'm on the in-car view, which is super exciting and great, that if I look in my rear view mirror, I will see the crowds in the audience, because it's hilarious. You look at the crowds in the audience as you're driving along the track, and then you look in the rear view mirror, and there's just
nobody.
these barren, empty stands. Like,
Vampire crowd. Oh my gosh. That's terrifying. Forza is about vampires all along, but it's just from a perspective so far removed from the story. You never know.
Yeah, that's why they're driving so quickly around the track, because if they stop, the vampires will get them. There we go. There is the storyline. There's the motivation behind you as
There's
a
a
driver.
storyline in Forza. You'd never have believed it before, but there is one now.
Yeah, and the driving does look good.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it hard to believe they'll get any better. I mean, this is the second current gen Forza, or third?
Well,
Second.
depends if you count Horizon. But
Horizons.
Horizons is actually, they take all of the great stuff of Forza in terms of like the precision and the controls, and then they just make it fun. Like, there's like, imagine like if you weren't ejaculating onto cars all your life, but you actually wanted to have some fun as well. Like, here's Forza Horizon, and I think like I kind of wanted Forza Horizon, whichever the next one is, like 3, 2, I don't know, whatever number they're up to. But instead we got car porn.
Yeah.
I guess, and on that note, after we've gone like floppies, dongles, car porn. I think we should just stop now and like plug ourselves.
Ooh.
and cheekily mention our Patreon.
Yes, I mean, if you've been keeping tabs on the channel for a while now, you will have noticed we have actually started Patreon, and you can follow us there at patreon.com/thekillerbits, and if you want to support the show, you can chuck us $1, whatever you want, and you're
maybe 10.
I was gonna say I want 2, and then Peter, just greedy, I want $10.
No, I said maybe 10. I want
$47. But it's yeah, I mean, this podcast, we've said if we kind of get enough kind of contributions and people want this sort of thing, as part of Patreon, we will actually do a more regular podcast. So there you go. There's inspiration for you. If you want to see more podcasts like this, follow us on Patreon, give a little bit of money and help us out. Support the show, support the videos.
Yeah, you see more of our ugly mugs.
Yeah. Hey.
We won't show them without being paid.
I'm sad.
I'm sorry. I was talking about like the royal.
Oh, I've got a mug next to me. I'm gonna hold it up to the camera. It can be my ugly mug. Okay. There we go. We're good.
Oh, I don't have one.
I've saved you there, Peter. Yeah. In that case, you're just talking about your face. Okay, so what came after Microsoft?
Oh, there's one more in Microsoft I wanted to say about. Who
did I forget?
Fable Legends.
Minecraft.
Oh, one of you is Minecraft and the other one is Fable, and I'm just like...
Oh, we missed out a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go with Fable... no, it's not Anniversary. Fable Legends.
Fable
Legends.
Legends.
Like 4v1 game, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, it didn't show anything of the game, but didn't it have Cersei Lannister doing the narration?
That was it. Cersei Lannister.
Yes.
And then, like, I felt like, I don't know, I feel like I should, like wander around the Xbox stage, just play it, ringing a bell and chanting shame. And reference only some of you will get if you keep up with the Game of Thrones TV show, and for the rest of you, like, that's not really a spoiler, so it's fine. Okay. I think I tried to sign up for the beta, and they were like, oh, put in your email address, and they were like, we'll send you a confirmation email, and then I never got a confirmation email, and I tried a different email address, and it still didn't happen. So,
well, it's one of these kind of that's almost turning into vaporware. They've been flogging this one for a couple of years now, and nobody's actually seen hide or hair of it, so yeah, I'm not interested. It's just I wanted to make a point. They got Leni Headey, or whatever her name is, Cersei Lannister, doing the voice for the bad guy or the good guy. There was no kind of
the narrator. Narrator.
They were kind of giving the impression that she's kind of this goddess Gaia type thing of you know, she is nature against these heroes. I don't know, but it's weird. It's Fable. Not interested.
I think I'm happy that they did announce, this is something they did announce, is that if you play it on PC and you buy things, because it's on microtransactions, that's like cool now, they all carry across to the Xbox One, so you don't have to buy separate stuff across them, because I know some games, actually, you know, a lot of PC kind of games with microtransactions, especially MOBAs, even within PC, if you change region, you then lose all of your stuff. and it really doesn't encourage people to either play, cross-platform or in this case, like cross-region.
Yeah.
So I think like Microsoft, that's a good move. I'm actually interested to see what the game is like, but I don't think they've really given us enough for us to get excited. If you're excited about Minecraft, however, you can buy an overpriced like HoloLens, and then you can blow up a hole in a beautiful town with some TNT, which is what she did. And it was like, why don't you just dig like a normal person?
It's Minecraft. It's all about digging. Yeah.
Yeah, digging. Yeah.
But I actually think the HoloLens is pretty cool. I think it's a neat piece of tech. If it works the way they say it does.
If it works the way that it say it does,
The in-room holograms are the future. Like, that's better than the room projection that they somehow managed to scrap.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, is this going to be again in ideal circumstances? Perfectly lit tables and things like that. Because in the real world, tables aren't that kind of perfectly lit, and it's going to have crap on it. And how is that going to affect the holograms? Yeah, I'm not sure how the tech's going to work.
It's not just lighting. I'm sure they've got some sort of infrared style beam popping out there, maybe.
I think the HoloLens, I think it's interesting, and they've got this kind of HoloLens, they've got the Oculus, they've got the new controller. They're kind of really pushing the peripherals at this point. In terms of the cool stuff
they also said
do.
they've got to deal with Steam VR as well, but they didn't go into detail with that either.
But I think Microsoft currently, they did just buy Minecraft from Mojang, although apparently some people thought it was pronounced Mojang. This is what I got from Twitter. People were like, they said Mojang. I'm like, well, he's Swedish.
Yes,
it's
the
J
is
in
a Y.
Swedish is a yeah. I do live in Norway. I feel like I'm qualified enough to pronounce it. And I was just like, how did you get Mojang? But that was, for most people, the biggest revelation of Minecraft at Microsoft. But it's not surprising they talked about it, considering they bought it for like £11 billion or whatever.
And I've been calling them Mohung this whole time.
Mohung. Why does it always have to be slightly crude?
Anyway.
Do you have anything else for Microsoft?
I mean,
no.
They showed off kind of some third-party stuff, but we'll probably get into that with the other press events.
Oh, I have one last thing. I actually played the Microsoft conference drinking game.
Oh,
where you have to drink for different things. So when Phil Spencer shows up, you drink. If anything is green, which unfortunately the set wasn't. We were expecting this massive green set. If anything is green, you drink. If they say exclusive, you drink. If they say world preview, you drink. And then we had one of them was if they say connect, you drink, and the connect has just disappeared from the face of the earth. Since it got debundled, it's almost like the sacrificial lamb, and they were just nah.
And it's lost Windows support too.
So I did actually get fairly drunk. There was a lot of drinking.
Was there bonus points if it was a timed exclusive?
Oh no, we didn't have that.
If it's a timed exclusive, that should equate to 2 drinks, surely.
And you had to drink for the duration.
Oh God!
There was someone pretending to play the game on the stage. If someone was pretending, you drank for as long as they were pretending.
So these ones where they showed 5 minutes worth of footage, you were just getting absolutely paralytic.
No, only when they were showing the people pretending to play. Right, so it was fine. It was fine. But that is, I recommend this next year, guys. If you want to make E3 that a little bit more fun, there are drinking games to be had.
We'll do that as a new goal on the Patreon. We'll do it as a live event or something.
Oh, drinking podcast with live at E3.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was quite pleasantly drunk at this point, and then we had EA.
EA, yes.
I think that sobered me just a little.
What?
Just
Sports.
No, it wasn't. It was, hey guys, Star Wars. Also some Star Wars at the end. And then in the middle, it was here's some sports. We mentioned Star Wars so that you stay and watch the sports.
But they did that, and then wasn't there something that came up on screen? We'll be showing the rest of Star Wars in 35 minutes. That was basically, please don't go anywhere. We are going to go back to Star Wars.
Yeah, they did that. And then as people were starting to get more bored, they were like, Mirror's Edge.
Yes. They shoved that in the middle of 2 sports things. I can't believe that.
So I think we should start with the sports, just get that out of the way to appease anyone watching who is into sports games. We will briefly touch on the cool new sports features coming out. So the first thing was you can use your smartphone to scan your face and implement it into the basketball game.
Yeah, but didn't they try this last year?
The basketball game doesn't have women in it.
No.
Yes, it will. It'll have beefcake women sliding around on the ice.
Sorry, basketball sliding around on the ice?
Basketball on the ice.
I mean sliding around on the course. What did I think?
You're mixing up your sports. That's an NHL.
Okay.
There was more
I'm
physics
not-
in that
I'm not
or
sports.
something.
I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm just gonna. I'll wait here. I'll be here.
Honestly, there's NBL, there's NFL, there's NHL. It's fair enough. So they had scanning yourself for basketball.
But didn't they try that last year with the Kinect or something? And everybody was having like these horribly distorted faces because it didn't quite work with kind of wrong refracted light in the room, and that people's faces were just kind of mangling and things like that. I can imagine that happening.
But
with
didn't Activision do that years ago
Yeah.
with Tony Hawk's on the PlayStation 2, where you sent them a really low resolution picture of your face, and then they did it on their side, then sent it back to you a couple of days later?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. I mean, I kind of want to draw a smiley face on a balloon and see how well
rotate
scanning yourself does in fact work. But I think Nintendo actually gets it right. When you make a profile on the Wii U, you take a photo of your face and it turns you into a me that looks nothing like you.
Yeah.
But it's a me, so it already looks nothing like you, so it's fine. Whereas this one, they're pretending to be realistic, so how well is it going to work? Then we had FIFA. FIFA now has women teams. That was
Yeah, I
the
mean
big
they
news.
announced that about a week or
That
so.
was, last week,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's good that they're actually putting the women's teams in, which is people
Yeah.
have been actually asking for it for a while now. It's just they've slowly taken on board. Oh right, there are 3.5 billion women out there. Maybe some of them play football as well.
Yeah, I mean, women's team's fair enough. I think it was a good move. Is it going to make me play FIFA? No, but that's because I don't like playing football games, not because I don't like women. So, they were never going to really win me over with it either way. They also had Pele, who came on. This was the best thing.
Sit there for 5 minutes talking about the beautiful game, and when I coined the phrase "beautiful game,"
Yeah.
It was like Grandpa Simpson, when he tells one of his long meandering tales where he and then I had to he tied an onion to his belt, which was the fashion at the time. And then we had nickels that had pictures of bees on them, and we'd say it's 5 bees to the dime, or what, one of those stories where it just goes round and round and round in circles until eventually it gets to a point. At which point you're like, yes, very nice. And then the presenter was just like, guys, though, Pele. He didn't really have much else to say about the fact other than it's Pele. And then people were hyped because it was Pele.
Yeah.
And then at the end he was like, guys, though, it's Pele. I'm like, yeah, we get that. He's been talking and talking.
and they had
talking.
big Pele on the screen behind him. It was the letters that were 10 foot tall, just in case nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, but that was okay. I guess if you're into football, you probably think Pele is pretty cool. And if you're not into football, you don't really care what they do anyway.
That was another point where everybody wandered out to check their emails and things like that.
Okay, what else did we have? We had NFL. They have some kind of feature that's a bit like Hearthstone Arena.
Yeah, there was
where you
their
pick
draft,
a player
their
and
draft
make
pick
your
thing.
team.
Yeah.
But if you pick a player, the other two are they get hung or something. They're no longer available to be picked. I don't know. Maybe they get some kind of lawsuit for whatever. What do footballers get done for? Drugs and hitting their wives?
Yeah, that tends to be it.
Things.
Tends to be it. Yeah.
So that was the announcement, and then the last one was teaching modes, which I think is in NFL and NHL, which is if you don't know how to play the game and you want to get better, you can
We'll
play
put a
PT
tutorial in the
Simulator,
game now.
where they put the ideal button that you need to press above the player's head. So instead of actually doing anything, you just mash a series of keys and then you win. So if you're into QTEs, you can hone your skills in the new sports games.
Yep. It's basically, if you played the whatever insert sports game last year, it's got slightly better. There you go. Done. That is EA Sports in a nutshell.
I don't know if they necessarily make them better though. They just add a little.
Yeah.
things.
They do little different things.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
about
next
it.
year you'll find it for 99p in game.
Yeah.
8
Or EA
copies of it.
Access. You can get the last year's games for EA Access on Xbox One.
Hey, they did announce EA Access, didn't they? And
Yeah.
they had what was the new thing on the subscription service? Currently, all of the games are free for the week of E3.
Yes.
But I don't really understand the point of that because I can't be bothered to try them for a week.
No. What else did they have? Oh, well, I mean, didn't they kick off? They had some Star Wars, but they also had Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, we're onto the good stuff now.
Yes.
We're on past the sports. Mass Effect Andromeda, which it was
Yeah,
great because they had this
Andromeda's
little
great.
spacey thing, and you're like, it's probably Mass Effect, and then the big N7 on
Yeah.
her boob or his boob, Shepard's boob was
Wow.
suddenly in the face of the camera, and you're like, it is Mass Effect. I thought that was finished with the terrible ending of number 3, but no, there's more, and it's coming in holiday 2015. You know that time we mentioned.
But it just had the Mako barreling around some sand dunes on a planet somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be another Mass Effect. It's going to have story. It's going to have how many of the crew can I sleep with? It's Mass Effect.
My shepherd will inevitably be called German because it's German shepherd, and I think that's funny. But it was just a little kind of a teaser to get your taste buds going.
We don't know that it's shepherd.
Well, yeah, they've said it might actually be a Pathfinder or something. They're going
it's going to be like Labrador instead. They need to be named after dogs for me. Anyway, what else did we get?
Going through all...
Pick one.
Not much.
Not much? We got freaking Yarn game.
Oh, yes,
'cause Yarn
Unraveled.
is cool. I'm going to point out I have been crocheting for years. Like, I knew Yarn was coming. Yarn's time, like Little Big Planet. But then we have, like, Yoshi's Woolly World. Now we have Unraveled.
Which is
knitting is
adorable. And the guy...
He's called Yarny.
Yeah, and the guy
my brain
that
was just
did
like,
it was...
Yarny is
he
your
was so
dinosaur.
adorable. He was so nervous. He goes, I made this on holiday.
Oh, yeah, he pulled a little, like, yarn figurine out of his, his jacket. Actually, it looks pretty cute. I'm actually quite interested to see kind of how it plays. A kind of more puzzle platformy, use your yarn to solve issues in the real world. As Yarny goes on his adventures. It reminded me
of the film Cookie, if anyone's seen that. It's a little soft toy bear out in the forest trying to get home. It's pretty much aesthetically very, 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 very similar.
I think that was one of the
that was one of the surprise
cooler
ones.
Announcements.
Yeah, I think that was one of the surprise ones. Nobody really knew about it, so yeah.
It's nice when the small things are remembered.
Mm-hmm. And then we also had Plants vs Zombies: Garden Warfare 2, which also has like Titanfall bits. And they're all going on about like Zomburbia, and I was like, please stop saying Zomburbia. That's not a word. But I actually. Like, if you like Dungeon Defenders, I feel like the Garden Warfare, the first one, is, like, really fun, and they're just kind of taking that theme and adding more kind of in-jokes related to EA titles. Like, one of the zombies is now, like, he's, like...
It calls in a Titan.
Titanfall. Yeah, and then, like, there's the thing drops from the sky, you know, like in Titanfall. Yeah. It's kind of in the name. So that's coming, and it looks actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean...
It looks pretty fun.
People were surprised how fun the first one was, and it seems to be this whole thing of... first and third person shooters, but slightly quirky and fun, seems to be the thing now, because obviously Splatoon is huge. It got announced last year's one, and obviously it's come out now, and yeah, I think there's going to be a few more of these kind of slightly more for family audience type shooters. Mm-hmm. So I can see that becoming more of a trend as well, so I can see other companies trying to jump on that bandwagon as well.
This is like a bad time to mention that I don't really like Splatoon.
Oh.
I played the like, what's it called, the global demo thing, and like the games only took 3 minutes, and I was like, well, this is fun, but I played like 8 games in about 20 minutes, and I'm bored because.
Did you keep getting run over by a big?
And I keep getting run over by a bloody roller, or I run everyone over with the roller, and it's like, oh, but you can paint the walls and like swim up to the top, and then they can't get you, and then it's like, yeah, I can use the sniper rifle, which is impossible to aim, whilst I sit up here and my team gets splattered with the roller.
Your problem was not sticking with the standard gun.
But the roller is OP.
I gotta say that roller is weak sauce as long as you get some distance between you and you don't think that the
but you don't need to do that because you can just be a squid and sneak up on someone and then splat them with the roller. Like
no one sneaks up on me. I am impenetrable.
Good for you.
My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
But yeah, new Plants vs Zombies. I like the EA like innovated because like Plants vs Zombies. Well, if you think about what it was originally, it was like an iOS game, it was probably a Flash game. I don't know if it was originally Flash.
I think
it was on
mobile.
computer. I can't remember. Yeah. But you dropped plants to defend lanes of zombies,
it's a tower defense.
It's like third person and exciting. It's probably because Plants vs Zombies 2 is full of microtransactions, so we're like, we need to make a good Plants vs Zombies game now because we kind of fucked it up a little bit. So let's like. Use puns and like be like, modern warfare? Don't you mean garden warfare in Zomburbia? Yeah, look how edgy we are. And then they had like a dude dressed up as a a zombie come out on stage in his suit, and then he was like, "Hey, I'm a zombie," and then they were like, "Right, fuck off now. We're going to talk about the game."
Whilst playing Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone.
I know, then that's just cheeky though, because like Sony has Aisha.
No, Ubisoft.
And she voices. Oh, Ubisoft. Sorry, Ubisoft has Aisha. Who plays Lana, and Danger. Like, I was just like, this. You guys are like one conference too soon with your music, but that was fun. What else? Mirror's Edge. We did talk about this briefly.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst, so it's prequel territory.
Hey.
I'm really happy with what they were talking about. The trailer is alright.
Yeah.
When they said that there's no weapons, but there will be fighting, I was like, thank God. Thank goodness.
Does
that
that mean
was the
that
worst part of the first game.
The enemies don't have weapons either? Like, you.
Oh,
they have
they can
weapons,
only
but-
kill you if like they manage to catch up with you and like beat you to death. So that would be that. I don't think they're gonna do that. That'd be hilarious. You're
They're all
getting chased by a helicopter, but the helicopter has no guns. It's just kind of watching where you go.
Yeah. But
Just like in a world with no guns, parkour becomes the norm. I don't know. I think Mirror's Edge was great.
yeah,
but I
everybody
thought
wants more
I
Mirror's
would-
Edge, but it's until we actually get hands on, we'll know.
Yeah. I mean, I bought the original one, like, new the week it came out,
Okay.
and then a week later it was reduced to like 20 quid, and I was like,
I think
"Wow,
I got it
this
on
is
a
new
Humble
game,"
Bundle
because no one was
sometime.
buying it, and then now everyone's like, but Mirror's Edge though, it's actually fantastic. It took us a long time to realize that. So that was fun, and then we had
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed. It's just called
Need
Need for
Speed.
Speed, isn't it?
It's just Need for Speed.
Yeah, they've reset.
Yeah, it basically reboots territory time, but it looks good. Yet more car porn. It's you can customize everything. You can have whatever coloured rims you want.
Rims.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Your mind
like,
is in the gutter. Leave
You
it.
started it with talking about your floppy. Like,
Whoa, floppy disks, just because you're too young to remember them.
yeah, I'm not even.
Jeez.
How old are you anyway, Peter? I think we're like the same age. No, maybe you're older than
26.
me. Damn, I'm almost 24. Like in like
Oh.
9 days. 9 days.
I can tell, the wrinkles are
But you
really
know
showing.
those 2 days, those 2 years, like floppy disks just got eradicated between like what,
They
like
did. They did. It's weird.
1989-ish
Like, it
and
was a weird-
1991.
Weird transition period.
Star Wars. Do we want to talk about Star Wars?
The
Yes.
Star Wars card game. I can't wait.
I feel like Star Wars was EA's big thing because they had what three Star Wars games. They had there was one of them was like an expansion for the old
Republic,
Knights of the Old
yeah.
Republic.
Yeah,
or the
so
Old Republic. I
We're
can't
going
remember
back to
what
BioWare storytelling.
Yep.
Nobody
then
cares.
there
Nobody
was-
plays
In
the
2 years
game
from
anymore.
And then there was like was one of them iOS like phones and stuff, or am I making things up?
I don't know. I
Maybe
might
I'm
have
making
blanked
things
that
up.
bit
I'm not
out.
actually that hyped about Star Wars.
But
I've never.
But their big thing
I
was
played
obviously
Lego Star Wars,
Battlefront.
and they didn't announce Lego Star Wars movie number 7, so I'm actually pissed off.
They announced everything they had to announce. They announced the fact that Battlefront won't be bad.
Yeah, they did announce Battlefront did actually look kind of fun.
It looked really scripted again.
Yeah.
Oh, why can't they just show gameplay and it be actual gameplay? Jeez.
It's almost
We're
as if
smart
like
enough
they don't want to
know.
fuck up. But yeah, but like, could you imagine they try and show gameplay and then like they just die repeatedly and they're like, well, look at this fantastic gameplay we tried to show. Whereas like if you script it, people get hype and then you can show real gameplay later where you've actually had like time to like edit it and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why they don't do
but
it.
their big thing was obviously they were showing off their, what was it, boss mode or something like that, where, at some point in the game you can be Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker.
Like every other Star Wars
Yeah.
Battlefront. Yeah.
You can
Look
be
at
the
one
bad
reason you
guys.
play.
Yeah, but it sounds
The
like
heroes.
it's essentially some sort of, kill streak bonus type thing. You get enough kills.
It is.
Yeah.
It literally will just work the same as the other Star Wars
Yeah.
Battlefronts. Have you guys played Star Wars Battlefront?
I vaguely recall
Oh,
playing it
come
a
on,
little, but
guys. Okay,
just
we're
be
all
hyped
getting
by
copies of this
yourself.
game.
And we're gonna play.
We're all getting copies, and we're going to play all the maps.
See-
and you'll see.
Star Wars, it confuses me because like the good guys are called the rebels, and that took me like way too long to figure out. And I always thought they're the rebels. There's a rebellion. Rebellion is bad. Like rebels bad.
Yeah.
Like like when you're a kid and your
Rebellion.
mom's like, "Don't be a rebel because being rebellious is bad." So then I was like,
So
"But they're the
you're being
rebels."
brought
I
down by
don't
the
understand.
man, man.
Yeah,
Fran is the
by
man.
the man, I mean my mother. God damn.
Your mum's the man.
Yeah. Okay. And on that note, that's basically EA.
That's basically
Star
EA.
Wars, sports, Mass Effect, Need for Speed. zombies, and yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and Mirror's Edge.
and Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Although in these notes it actually says Mirror's Hedge.
Who wrote that? Honestly.
Oh, it's probably Peter. The same person who renames our Skype calls periodically, like the chat formerly known as Dicks.
Dicks.
Anyway,
Sorry, guys.
and on Dicks, this seems to be where we kind of stop each conference. It's like, oh, we've gotten to Dicks,
No,
let's move on.
Let's move from Dicks onto the fractured
butthole.
The fractured butthole. Yeah, let's move from Dicks to the fractured butthole. So this is Ubisoft, which was the one hosted by Aisha.
Yeah,
Lana.
Yeah.
and it was a good way
probably
to
the
kick
most
off the
cringe-worthy
Ubisoft one.
host.
I don't think anybody was really expecting another South Park. Everybody was appreciating it, but
Yeah.
it was a case of
In fairness, the guys who make South Park were like, we're not making another game. And then they were like, hey, fooled ya, we're making another game.
well, didn't they spend like 5
Yeah.
minutes complaining about the headset mics or something?
Yep. And then it was like, oh, but instead of like fantasy and like wizards and stuff, we've actually got Coon in the gang. Where he is a raccoon. I'm going to point this out for anyone who's not familiar with South Park. Like, I'm not being a filthy racist here. Cartman and his crime fighting squad are called Coon in the gang, and he's like a raccoon man.
Coon and Friends. Say it right.
Coon and Friends. Oh, my bad. I was thinking like Cool in the Gang. I was going with that kind of spin off. But
I see. I appreciate that.
it's called Fractured
But
Whole, as in like entire. But I feel like you have to kind of spell that one out for people. South Park
I know
Fractured
they have
Butthole.
the like, Avengers font.
Yeah.
Love it.
But I think the South Park game, like it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
They did a good job of like putting the same kind of humor from the TV show into the game. So I'm happy about more South Park.
But didn't they? I think when they were writing the first one, all the jokes that they didn't manage to get into the game ended up in the show anyway, because they kind of recycled some of the
did,
script
yeah.
and then put it in the show.
And I was half expecting DLC because like they made such a great town of South Park in that game that you could just like latch on loads more story, and then they didn't. The DLC was just extra costumes and a couple of classes that didn't mean jack to the actual gameplay. But then they reveal a whole new game's coming out, so that's why.
For me, I'm just hoping that it doesn't get censored in Europe again. So it was like, here, we were going to have like an alien probe scene, but that was deemed inappropriate for Europeans. Even though like Europeans are generally deemed to be more liberal than their American counterparts. You cannot handle alien probing, so we're just going to put like some words here explaining what you missed. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, like, I'm a almost 4-year-old woman. I think I can decide if something is inappropriate. But at least we're not Australia, so I guess, like, did they even get South Park? I feel like Australia would be like, no.
They got the same kind of censoring type thing, yeah. I think instead of the Statue of David, they had a koala holding it, covering its eyes or something. Some weird.
Sad koala.
Yeah.
Poor Australia. We also have For Honor, we mentioned that previously. It's the chivalry. It's not chivalry.
Chivalry.
I feel like I'm an American saying chivalry. Chivalry. Like Dynasty
Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, you had
just
big
pick words and go.
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors, yeah.
Basically medieval arena combat of some sort, but it's all third person and you can hack people up with big broadswords. It looked good.
I think it looked pretty fun.
Yeah.
Although their trailer, it was all like they were taking turns at fighting each other, and I was like, you're 2v1, like just stab it in the dick and get on with it. Like, I'm sort of in a multiplayer game. If I'm ever 2v1, I don't just sit and wait. I'm like, right, you can kill my friend, and then I will kill you. Then we can fight because I have honor.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, the game is called For Honor, so I guess maybe that's why they did it. But for me, I'm like, just kill him and get on with it.
Got a big sword,
trying to win
stab
here.
him in the back.
Yeah, just stab him in the back. Come on. But I mean, it was just kind of teased out in terms of what the game's going to be about. But I thought it looked pretty neat.
Yep. So, and then moving on from that, we had was it expansion or
I'm not sure if it's a DLC expansion or whether it's a new game, but it's Trials Fusion, where instead of bikes, you have unicorns, and instead of riders, you have cats. Because why the fuck not? I think is what Ubisoft
I think they're basically just doing meme the game.
Meme the game. But they made
the game.
Ubisoft made Far Cry? Am I wrong?
Yeah, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Far
Yeah,
Cry,
they did,
and
they
then
did,
Far Cry
yeah.
3 had like Blood Dragon. So I feel like, and then like I feel like
they
what
start
their
with jokes and
thing
they're like, we
is
can
like
make
let's
this.
start with a proper game, and then we'll just add some like silly font and like a word like FX or something at the end, and we'll just add silly things.
Yeah.
And sell it because
Works.
here's the serious game that you love, but let's make it really silly for those who also love silly things, which I think is a good plan. That kind of seems to be what Ubisoft have been doing recently.
Yeah.
When they're not been fucking up
I'm all for it.
Assassin's Creed, but yeah.
So Trials Fusion, I think that'll be a good one, and hopefully we'll be able to put some Trials Fusion videos.
Yes.
And do a little
Yeah.
cross promotion here on the channel coming up in the near-ish future. So we're gonna play with bikes first.
Yes. And then we'll
Just
move
to
on to
prepare
unicorns.
us. Move on to the cats and the unicorns. Exactly. So that was pretty cool. I'm happy about that. What do you guys want to take next? One of the 8 million Tom Clancy games?
Yes, lots of Tom
They were
Clancy.
all amazing looking games. Like,
Yeah, but there was no car
when
doors
you-
closing this time in the Division.
See, the Division trailer, I can't remember, was it the one, because I think Microsoft had one as well, but the Division trailer was just like, here's how to be an asshole and make all of your friends hate you and never
Yes.
want to play video
What was
games
it,
with
the
you ever
Dark
again. It's
Zone
like,
or something?
yeah.
You go,
Look at this
basically
great
go and get
multiplayer
this
we have.
supply drop and then shoot everybody you're with.
Yeah. It's like, oh, but he's got a level 12 weapon. It's like, please, like, this is some Game of Thrones level betrayal right here. I'm not happy. I was just like, well, this is just, I'm not going to play with anyone because I can't trust people. Like, I don't know, I don't see you ever playing
Yeah.
with your friends and being like, oh guys, lol, by the way, I took all your guns and you're dead. Let's play again sometime. Like, that's never unless you, like, don't like playing with other people. You can have your one opportunity of playing with friends and then fuck them over. And then kind of get on with your life. And
It
I was
better
like,
be bloody
seriously?
good loot if that's the case. What if you do all that and it's like just like this kind of really common item of some sort? You know, all that, I killed everyone and I just got this.
You just lie to your friends, obviously, like, oh yeah, I got the best item ever. And then when they kill you, it's like, ha, joke's on you. I had fuck all, and now you look like a wanker.
But I mean, that's one thing. When they kind of showed Division, was it last year or year before, whatever it is, they kind of hinted at it was going to be more kind of RPG elements to it, this MMO type thing. But this year it's a third-person shooter. Go around shooting people with your friends. There wasn't any kind of that hint of that kind of MMO RPG type thing to it.
In some of the follow-up stuff they've done, they've been like, oh, we kind of want it to be mainstream. So there's a PvP area, which is like the Dark Zone.
Yeah.
But if you're not into that kind of thing, you don't have to go there, and it's designed that you can play the game perfectly well, I guess, as a PvE game, so where you actually team up with your friends and go around killing zombies and escaped convicts and whatever else.
And
is
guys with
going on. So,
flamethrowers. Oh
if
no,
you're-
we
if
can't
you're
attack
not
them.
quite
They're
so
level
into it,
12.
but you still want to do the tactical versus AI side of things. I think that option is there as well, because not everyone wants to play with their friends and find out that all their
There's
friends
a
are
dicks,
assholes.
yeah.
Like I would rather be like blissfully ignorant of YouTube.
I think you already know by now.
Unfortunately, we've played Magicka, so I know that I am in fact the
Yeah.
most dickish of all of us.
Yes. Okay, moving on from that.
So Tom Clancy's The Division. Then we had Tom Clancy's
Rainbow Six Siege. With what was it? Angela Bassett is motion captured, telling you what to do or something.
Yeah, she's plays someone who's called Six. That's their name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played Rainbow
This isn't
Six.
the first
so-
time we've seen Siege, is it?
No,
No.
They showed it off last year, didn't
that was
they?
their kind of big finisher last year, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
everybody shut themselves because it's more Rainbow Six. Ah! But yeah, it just looked the same. It did look very scripted again. I mean, the voice acting on you go and take this objective type thing. It really cringeworthy. I don't know about you guys, but I just no. Sorry, I'm not believing you're actually talking to these people.
Was that the one where they had to like break into the house?
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
right. If you have a bomb diffuser to defuse the bomb, your bomb diffuser does not just go beep, beep, beep for a fucking minute whilst you are defusing the bomb. Like, if you are covert
My laptop.
ops, I think like someone in like back at HQ would be like, guys, when we're designing a bomb defusal kit, maybe we should make it quiet.
If they can blow holes in
light.
walls, why don't they? Oh, we found the bomb. Blow a hole in the wall and throw it out to somebody to defuse.
Yeah, let's be super quiet and put a sledgehammer in this
Yes.
wall, guys.
I mean, I thought it actually looked kind of fun in a team work together to kind of stop the
Well,
terrorists
that's it. Like,
kind of thing.
I love Rainbow Six because you have to plan everything in advance, and now that there's all these guys along with you, you're like, oh shoot, guys, I guess we have to do it on the fly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be hectic, crazy.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. And then, like, if that wasn't enough Tom Clancy for you, bear in mind, while I was watching this in Twitch chat, I was literally like, we were guessing what the games were because we weren't sure, like, with Rainbow Six and with Ghost Recon, and I was like, Tom Clancy, something else. And then I was like, this is going to be Tom Clancy, something else. And then it was like, Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon Wildlands. And I was like, told you so.
Yeah, if you knew the first one was going to be Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, this had to be Ghost Recon.
Scarface edition.
So who is Tom Clancy?
He's a writer of like military style novels.
So why is his name on like all the video games?
Because he died.
Yeah, and Ubisoft owned the rights to kind of his kind of works type thing, so they just stick his name on everything.
Okay,
it's like
so
sticking John Madden on the NFL things for EA. It's Ubisoft's version of that.
Okay, and who is Sid Meier? I don't know who any of these people are on the names of the games.
Sid Meier is actually
a great game developer.
Yeah. Okay, so he's actually a dev, so it would be like Hideo Kojima kind of type stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
And Tom Clancy is a dead guy. Okay, and Ghost Recon Wildlands, how do we feel?
It's amazing. Oh my gosh, the transition from the blood in the cocaine to the wet ground with them walking, that was so beautiful.
Oh, that shot, yeah, there was really nice cinematography.
It's very good. That whole game looks huge.
And like, the guy at the end,
than any other Ghost Recon.
The guy at the end, the other drug dealer that has white hat on the table or something. Was that Tuco from Breaking Bad? It kind of looked like him.
No, you know what? Yeah, probably. Let's have a look.
You're bringing up the video again.
It was so heartless, though. They were like, "There's no point shooting him. His like boss is going to kill him for being a fuck up. So just save that one bullet you were going to use to just give him a merciful like death." It's like, he's going to get brutally tortured. It's fine.
You don't need to kill him. He's got a bomb disposal kit. It'll kill him soon enough.
But I mean, I do like the idea of you've got to take down all these drug gangs, but you can do it in whatever way you want. But it's going to be that kind of communicating with the other members of your team about how you do it. I suppose that is going to be interesting from a co-op point of view. But everybody's just going to go in the loud and noisy thing, blow everything up type deal. Nobody's going to bother with the stealth after like the first mission.
I don't think stealth is like I think like with stealth and stuff, which we'll talk about Hitman later because they actually kind of talked about that when we get to Sony/Square Enix. I think like Ubisoft, they pretend like they have stealth, and then really it's like you could just kill everyone. It's the same with like Assassin's Creed. It's like you could be sneaky, or everyone could attack you one at a time, and you could have some quick button triggers that automatically counter and then stab them in the face. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it, really, because being sneaky takes too long, and who wants to be sneaky when you can stab everyone in the face?
Yep. The best game for being sneaky, I'd have to say, is Far Cry, where it looks like the best way to play that game is to be loud and run in. Weird. No Far Cry this year, though. I'm upset. But I guess they did a good job for the last 2 years, so I'll play more of them.
Yeah, but you would have thought they would have hinted at kind of like they did Blood Dragon to Far Cry 3. There might have been something for Far Cry 4 in that kind of same vein.
I don't know. I feel like they're better taking like a couple years because they've got so many big IPs now. I mean, you've got Assassin's Creed, you've got Far Cry, you've got Watch Dogs, which they could, redo and make amazing.
They will be. They are.
So I'm sure they'll make a second Watch Dogs.
That was going to be a franchise, didn't they? So.
Exactly. So they've got plenty to kind of be going on.
And of course, big franchises, Just Dance.
No, well, we haven't talked about Assassin's Creed. Okay, we can talk about Just Dance. I did not know that the guy who they brought on the stage was Jason Derulo because he did not sing his name at the start of his track, and I was like, who is this? I have no idea. And then he was at the end. It was like, oh, thank you, Jason Derulo.
Oh, right.
And I was like, oh, but he didn't go Jason Derulo. So I was like, nope, don't know. But they do now have a subscription service, so you can have all of the songs.
Yeah, but only on current gen. Was it current gen and PC, or was it just current gen?
Oh, probably. Can you even get Just Dance? Oh, because you can use your phone now.
Yes.
That was the new thing.
Yeah.
You don't need a
have
camera. You can use your phone.
You don't have like a PlayStation Wand or a Kinect. Well, that's fine. Just use your smartphone.
So everybody's gonna be on the sofa there, just like this with their phone. Yeah, I'm dancing.
Actually, Just Dance is really fun, especially when you're like completely shit-faced.
What, like after the Microsoft
it's pretty
conference?
good with a group of friends. If you have enough space in your lounge and you could kind of boogie on down with the buddies, I actually quite like Just Dance. I'm a secret dance game advocate, but I did not know it was Jason Derulo, so poor him.
Okay, and finally, Assassin's Creed.
I like it. It's got London in it, and I like London.
Yeah, I mean,
really good pre-rendered trailer. Like it was.
Yeah.
Super
That was
cinematic
weird. That in the Ubisoft conference, all they did was show yet another CG trailer. It wasn't until the Sony one later they actually showed here's a bit of gameplay, but even that wasn't kind of a lot.
I think they have to. They've got their work cut out for them, considering what happened with Liberty. What's it called? The French one. Assassin's Creed
Liberation.
There you go. Like, considering how that one went down, they've kind of got to make this one pretty polished. I think people are still loyal enough to the franchise that it'll be successful. And I think Industrial London is a really cool setting. Plus, like, you're basically
that was
dodger of
quite,
assassins.
That was actually one thing when they started off the conference. Aisha did actually start it off by saying the whole thing about, Ubisoft got the message about Assassin's Creed. Yeah, we know you didn't like it.
Beforehand, I swear they had this thing. Because they actually do read all of your shitty tweets. They had this thing before the conference started on the stream, at least on the Ubisoft stream, where they had like the devs and stuff reading the aggressive tweets people were sending them.
Yourself
no, it was a great one. This guy was like, Assassin's Creed, like, Liberty is shit. The worst part about it is that it's set in France. And then the guy was like, well, good news, the next one's set in London. So yeah, it was actually quite funny. They kind of took the fact that they do read the tweets that you send them, even the ones that are mean and what have you, and that they'll take the feedback like to heart, which I think is something they kind of had to sit down and say based on how Watch Dogs went and how Assassin's Creed went. But then they did redeem themselves with Far Cry, so it's like, it's all good. I'm just sad there wasn't a Rayman game.
No, I mean there wasn't any UbiArt game at all. That's one thing. I mean, are we expecting maybe something like that Gamescom in a month and a half's time? You know, are they holding back stuff? Because I mean, last year we had what was it? Valiant Hearts come out of nowhere, and that was UbiArt and the.
Lovely, yeah.
Well, what was the other one? Child of Light. That's it.
Child of Light was actually pretty damn fun.
Yeah, so I mean,
I got the special edition with the art book and stuff.
Both of those came out of nowhere, so you've got to think those small teams again have got to be working on something, and the UbiArt engine is so good. So why aren't we seeing more of that? I'd like to see a Prince of Persia in the UbiArt engine.
I love Prince of Persia.
The original
style gameplay.
Yeah.
But not one that's just like, the last one that was like just Prince of Persia, and you just had to tap A lot, and you would do all of the parkour. Like that one, I mean, it was kind of fun, but it was so repetitive. I think that if they're going to do Prince of Persia, they have to do it in a big way.
Yeah.
But I also feel like they announced enough big stuff in their conference that like the little things, I think they can use them. Like if it's a little kind of UbiArt game, I think it should be strong enough on its own that you don't need to kind of put it in amongst the big stuff. Whereas if they don't announce, like Assassin's Creed and Ghost Recon and Tom Clancy, whatever, then they're kind of gonna miss out. Oh, we forgot something.
Go on then.
Something that I love. Trackmania.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Track Bloody Mania. Oh, it's such a good game to play at LAN, like with your friends.
And now on console.
Now on console as well. Yeah. Well, I've only ever played it with a PC, but it's basically like, let's take a Formula 1 car and send it around a weird anti-gravity track where it's doing loop-the-loops and shit, and you got to try and do your best time. Also, some of these tracks are ridiculous.
Yeah, and they had that kind of press one button and it instantly generates a whole new track that no one's ever played, including the dev, and he crashes at the first jump. That was entertaining.
I couldn't work out whether he was actually playing it and he crashed at the first jump, or whether they recorded him and were like, now fuck up, so that we have like footage and we can pretend.
I don't know. It did actually strike me that it was generating, and you could see the speed he went up that jump and hit, what was it, an awning or something. It did.
Yeah, there was like a barrier, like an archway going across, and he went over the jump and then smashed into the archway.
So it did actually look genuine. It was one of those rare events on an E3 stage where it actually looked like gameplay and it looked genuine.
But
yeah.
I don't know, I love Trackmania, so that was one other thing that I'm pretty hyped about.
So that's Ubisoft. I mean, I always like the Ubisoft events because they seem a little more chaotic and unscripted and things like that.
Oh, that's the chaos. No, it looks bad. The stuff they do that isn't show the game.
It's case of you always know the Microsoft one, the Sony one, they're always going to be really slick, whereas Ubisoft just looks like it's been thrown together at the last minute.
Let's try and make a meme out of this guy.
I was about to say that. Like
this year.
No, her necklace said girl.
Yeah, it was. It did.
Like Aisha Taylor, I feel like she tries too hard to be cool. Like in the conference, it's like, look how like hip and trendy and with the kids we are.
Yeah.
Yo, you want to be a meme? Say something funny. Oh, ha ha ha. Oh, I'm the only black girl who can't dance. Oh, ha ha ha. Like,
I like it because it's so bad. It's that cringeworthy thing about it. It's just so bad.
No, for me it's just like, please stop ruining Lana for me. Like you can just be Lana and only Lana, and that would be great. Yeah. But just, and like her necklace, and it was just like girl wood. I'm like, girls can't even get wood. Like we do not have penises. Like there is nothing that can become hard. And on that note, we're going to stop talking about Ubisoft.
Welcome to the Dick Podcast.
The Dick Podcast. Okay, now what?
And Peter's just writing Patreon breakdance.
Sign a Patreon breakdance.
Dance too. I feel like I expect like you to be dancing now on your little camera. Like we better be doing some hip dancing.
Oh, this is the hippest. This is so hip.
While we boogie on down, and you guys at home should be boogieing too. But whilst you're boogieing, you should take your mouse and go to www. Actually, you need the keyboard as well. Patreon.com.
That'll be a link. It's all right.
/the kilobits, where you can support us creating content online, much like this.
Yeah.
And this is one of our stretch goals. So if you're into podcasting, breakdancing, and copious amounts of dick jokes, then maybe chuck us $1 or two.
In the forum.
We are cheap and cheerful, and we appreciate everything because
we're very cheap.
I'm afraid to say, as the Patreon is still in its infancy, we don't have quite enough money for me to stay any longer in this podcast, which is a shame. So keep giving, and I will be able to book more time in for these extra events. But for now, I'm going to sign off, everyone.
Aww.
Enjoy the rest of the conference chat. Player 1 and 2, have fun.
Okay.
Is he actually leaving? I'm confused.
I'm confused as well.
Bye.
Is he gone? Peter?
Peter?
Oh wow, there's just the two of us.
Okay,
Sony. John, you're gonna have to take the lead because I did not watch Sony. I was sleeping.
Yeah, well, again, I didn't. I attempted to stay up, but I kind of crashed at like 1:30, and no, I couldn't stay up until 2 o'clock for that. So yeah, Sony's conference. One big thing they kind of kicked it off with was The Last Guardian. They've been teasing this for how many years now? It's got to be like
too many years.
It's like 10 years or something like that. It's been in development, but they finally showed it and goes, maybe next year. I think they said it's coming 2016 or something like that. But yes.
See, since like Duke Nukem, I just do not trust games that have been in development for like 8 billion years. It's like no, you can make a game. Well, you do not need this much time. And they're like, oh, it's maybe 2016. Yeah, like. Basically, gamers, like developers now, they don't really have to put a date on it because they'll just change it anyway.
Yeah.
So they're like, with 2016, guys.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, maybe. Like, it's been too long to be hype.
Yeah, but I mean, it did look like it did look like a Team Ico, Studio Japan, whatever they are now, game. It looked like Ico and Shadow of Colossus. I mean, you even had that thing of the kid climbing on the back of the Guardian monsters back, and it looked like Shadow of Colossus climbing up the Colossuses. Or Colossi? What is the plural of
Colossuses? No, that doesn't sound right.
Whatever. Yeah, it looked
whatever.
like it. It did look, and it did look pretty.
Oh, but like the PlayStation generally, they try and make stuff look pretty. I mean, the thing I did kind of get a feel for with their conference was that like they have a lot of stuff where they're like, hey, look, we've got exclusive shit that Xbox doesn't. Like that seemed to be a theme going through a lot of their different stuff. Like when they were talking about Call of Duty, and they're like, yeah, Call of Duty
made
timed exclusives.
Yeah, they've made a big thing of that. Whereas every other year, it's been Xbox has gone right. We're the place for Call of Duty. You know, get it here first. Get exclusive something or other skin on your gun or whatever. Basically, Sony's doing that this time now. So obviously they've paid them a shitload of money to get that kind of exclusivity deal. So yeah, that seems a little weird to actually have Sony as kind of the home for Call of Duty.
I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty it's getting on a bit.
I
feel like it's not as relevant as it used to be, and we saw nothing from EA. EA does. I'm going to say EA and Battlefield. Battlefield EA or EA?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
See that we had nothing about Battlefield in EA.
Well, I mean,
so
they're too focused on Battlefront, but obviously DICE is doing Battlefront, so their focus is on that at the moment. So maybe.
But I feel like these games are falling out because like out of fashion, because it used to be every year Battlefield, Call of Duty, Call of Duty versus Battlefield versus Call of Duty. Oh look, Call of Duty is now in like modern era. Oh look, well, Call of Duty, in the future. Oh well, you know, in Battlefield we have cops and robbers, not just one. And it's, I don't know. I think they've kind of fizzled out a little bit.
And but I mean, this new Call of Duty, basically, you can see where they're kind of pulling influences from. What was it, Titanfall, with the parkour free running all across the side of walls, and everybody's got mech suits, and yeah.
I mean, I feel like they have their work cut out for them. Like the people who make these games, it's hard. It must be hard to come up with something new that people are gonna like care about. And I mean, you can only go so far into the future or into the past. Like there has to be a point where they're starting to run out of stuff. And I think, I don't know. I don't care for Call of Duty. I'm really bad at it.
Yeah. But other stuff from Sony's conference. I'm going down the list here. Horizon Zero Dawn. What was that one again? That was the one where the woman was hunting robots or dinosaurs or something.
Yeah, that one, robot like dinosaur.
Yeah, it's all set after an apocalypse has wiped out humanity, and
they're always set after an apocalypse, like post-apocalyptic worlds. I don't know how many apocalypse. We're having a Colossus issue again. Apocalypses. There have been in the gaming industry, but this was another post-apocalyptic. Like, come on, why don't you just have to say it's an alternate reality?
Yeah.
Just mix it up a bit. It doesn't have to be the real world after the shit has
But basically,
hit the fan.
all the city's been taken over by nature, and we've got robots running around. They're big dinosaur-type, robot-type. It looks cool.
It looks cool. Nature and robots have teamed up to fight humans. Something like that. I like it when new stuff is announced. And I think like Sony's pretty good for announcing new stuff. They tend to branch out a little bit more.
Yeah, as for kind of bringing out the developers to show off new stuff, it is always tends to be Media Molecule, and they brought them back for their, what was it, Dreams, which is basically sculpting dreams and sharing them. It reminded me, was it last year or the year before, they had the PlayStation Move thing, and they were doing all this painting with the Move controllers and sculpting that. You can see where that's kind of moved on to this, creating these kind of characters and doing this puppeteering type thing. Again, it looks like a Media Molecule game. It is very out of the box, innovative type deal. And
like, that doesn't always mean good, though.
It doesn't always mean good, but they have got a good pedigree. It's Media Molecule, it's Little Big Planet, but...
Oh no, I'm always a bit wary. Like, Microsoft had their, was it Project Spark creative? You know, everyone can make their own games in our game. Like, I have played it, and it was a horrific experience, and not in a good way. Like, there was so much... Like, one of them was like, oh, I made this game. The game is called, you got to climb to the top of Dick Tower, and it was just this big rock.
No, we can't talk about dicks yet. We've got to get through the rest of Sony's conference.
It's okay, well, there will be more dicks. But, like, I'm always a bit skeptical of, like, these kind of more artistic ones. Like,
Yeah.
I get that you're trying to do something new, but is it going to work?
Yeah, but they tend to use Media Molecule for that, and I don't know. I might try it. It seems different. I don't know how exactly it's going to work. How that you know, so many people are just going to be painting dicks.
Yeah. What we do, we can't help ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's a case of people. They're expecting people to create these kind of puppets and what was it? They had this old man playing a piano and some polar bear and things like that. No, people are just going to be painting dicks. That's it. That's all people care about.
Well, it's a good way to spend your time. The one that stood out to me personally, which may never come out eventually, Final Fantasy VII, like actual proper fancy remake.
Yes.
Where, you know,
we'll
like
make it
where
at some point.
you're not made of polygons anymore. You are made of polygons, but you're made of many more polygons than you were. And I'm just so hyped because of the scene in Final Fantasy VII. Spoilers from a game that's freaking ancient, where you have to sneak into the brothel by dressing up as a woman. Like, in HD remake, this is going to be great. And the bit where, like, you get chosen as the top quality whore because you've got the best outfit over women as Cloud. Like, what more could you want? I kind of feel like I need to buy a PlayStation now. Which, I mean, it's not the best situation to be in personally. Peter's gone, so he can't be like, yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah, we've lost our PlayStation advocate, haven't we?
Yeah, but we had the remake of Final Fantasy VII, and that it just had a trailer.
Yeah,
not like games or anything. But
that's
the
literally all they've done
awesome.
of it. You know, they've probably just kicked a few ideas around the office. They haven't started anything about it yet. They're just going to use that. This is going to become the new Last Guardian. They're just going to kick around that trailer for the next 10 years.
No, but they also announced like Final Fantasy Chibi. Was it Final Fantasy World?
Yes.
Which for a second I thought...
World of
Final Fantasy. For a second I was like, World of Final Fantasy sounds an awful lot like World of Warcraft. Maybe MMO, even though they've already got one.
Yeah.
But with chibis...
Yeah.
Like,
you can make your little character big or little and do this totem thing of standing on people's heads.
And there's baby chocobos and like cactuars.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Final Fantasy creature. I think it looks kind of fun.
It does.
I'm a sucker for cute and Final Fantasy, and they put the two together. So
yeah,
I think it looks interesting. Also, Shenmue. I for the longest time thought this game was pronounced Shenmue. So Shenmue 3 has been kickstarted.
Yes.
Interesting that they announced a Kickstarter. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, they I mean, who owns the rights still on it? Is it Sega, I think?
Sega probably.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that they don't.
Why can't they just fund it? You know, they know people want it.
Have you played the new Sonic games? Like, that's all that Sega makes.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, this is just callous marketing. They know...
It means they have no money.
Yeah, they know... They don't want to take a risk, but it won't be a risk because they know people will buy it. It's just... Yeah. I don't get why they kickstarted it, but I do get why they don't want to spend their own money, essentially.
I'm always wary of Kickstarter. Like, I like to watch what happens on Kickstarter, but I don't tend to fund things. Peter, on the other hand, funds everything, and has in fact funded Shenmue because it came up on my newsfeed on Facebook, where it was like he shared the fact that he had funded the game. And I don't know, like I think I played, like, I haven't played the second one. I played some of the first one, but there's like this weird mission where you have to catch falling leaves.
Isn't it also racing forklifts and things like that as well?
Yeah, it's bizarre. There's also, you talk to this girl who's lost like a kitten. It's such a strange game. I don't really understand.
It's a very Japanese game.
What you do, but the internet likes it.
Yeah,
and, Shenmue
but
3
wasn't I'm looking at the details here. They put a target of 2 million on it. Mm-hmm. They blew through that in the first few hours, but the realistic budget for that is probably going to stick a naught on the end of it. It's going to be like 20 million, and
yeah, they've got stretch goals. If you watch I watched the Kickstarter video. I haven't seen the part of that they showed at E3. Probably the same video, but they have some stretch goals like new zones and stuff.
Yeah,
which is basically Kickstarter. It's like we'll put like a kind of middling ballpark figure on it, and then we'll just add stretch goals for crazy amounts of money because people have more money than sense. So
yeah. It seems to me now Kickstarter is the target you see for these kind of big games is essentially this is what it's going to cost to create the demo. If you want the real game, look at the bottom at the stretch goals. That's where the realistic target for the budget for the game is.
I don't know. I'm interested to see how it is. They had the trailer. They had this bit where she's like, oh, jump across the river with me. And I'm just imagining the game, like, having played, I think maybe it's Shenmue 2. There's a bit where literally you have to try and catch 3 leaves in a row as they fall out of a tree. And it takes forever because it's impossible. And then she's like, oh, now you have to jump across the river without getting wet. It's such a weird game, but it's kind of engaging at the same time. I don't think I'm going to fund it, though. It's already funded, so I don't need to fund it. Other people have spent their money.
You know it's going to come out anyway.
Exactly, so we're good. What else did we have, Sony-wise?
Oh, they showed off some more No Man's Sky, but that was inevitable again. They actually had the guy there from Hello Games playing it and being attacked by sentinels and fighting fish.
It's just an everyday life as a space commander. Sentinels, fish, one word. What else? Arkham Knight. We'll go for Batman.
Yes, well, obviously that's out next week. So they showed off some cop walking into a diner and then getting attacked by Scarecrow and trying to shoot zombies. It's just going to be play this exclusive mission on PlayStation. There's going to be
this exclusive
there's going to be exactly
PlayStation.
Yeah, there's going to be something similar on the Xbox. We know Batman's going to be good if it's anything like the original kind of Arkham games. We kind of ignore Origin.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I'm so sick of like this whole like, oh, if you buy it from game you get an exclusive this. If you get it on PlayStation you get an exclusive that. If you buy it on Xbox you get an exclusive this. If you if you use a PC you're gonna have to wait 8 years to eventually put it on PC because we're gonna milk the console market for all it's got, like all it has first. Speaking of which, I'm gonna have a very small aside here.
Go on then.
GTA 5 Steam Summer Sale. They pretended like they put it on sale, but really they made it so
25% off if you buy it with the credit card thing.
Yeah, you get 25% off if you buy it with the credit card thing that gives you in-game online money. So it's the same price as if you were going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
But you get free in-game money. That is their Steam Summer Sale. And people complained that they didn't want to necessarily buy it in this bundle. So what they did was they then sold it alone, standalone, but marked up the price so that with the discount, it's the same price as if you bought it with the Shark card or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what I mean, like, I don't know, this exclusive stuff and the way the kind of industry is working to try and pull you into their onto their console or onto their platform or whatever. It's just pissing me off. Like, if Sony and Microsoft and all the other companies just focus on making good games rather than making extra stuff to pull you into other games, I think the world would be a better place.
Anyway, talking about Steam, how's the level of the clicking at the moment?
We don't talk about the clicking game. The Steam Summer Sale clicking game that I'm actually sneakily playing on my second monitor over here. You guys, so whether you ever hear clicking or me looking over here, we're currently on level 36,250 in 3 hours. Bear in mind we're about to surpass the level we got yesterday in 3 hours. I have an issue. It's like Cookie Clicker, except I never played Cookie Clicker while it was cool. I played it recently. But this is worse. Like, I need help.
What? You're just gonna have to go
distracting me from the sale.
What are you gonna do at the end of the sale? Are you just gonna have to go cold turkey, or you're gonna have to find alternates?
No, at the end of the sale, I'm gonna have a badge that showed that I got to the highest level out of anyone ever, and I'm gonna show off this badge on my Steam profile, along with the hundreds of games that I own that I don't play.
Yep.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Other stuff from Sony. They did some hardware stuff. They showed off Morpheus, but everybody was predicting that. I don't know. I'm still not buying into the whole VR thing. I wear glasses. I don't need to stick something else on my face.
Yeah, when I tried the Oculus, same as you, as someone who is like short-sighted.
Yeah.
It basically just smushed my glasses into my face, which is anyone who's worn glasses and ever kind of like caught them on something or accidentally like knocked your glasses into your nose is like the most painful thing ever. And I don't know, I didn't really enjoy the Oculus when I used it. I think they have a long way to go before it becomes more mainstream.
Yeah, obviously they've got to make it cheap. But they did actually show at the Oculus event that it was lighter because the guy was, look, you can hold it with one hand, all that kind of thing. So, the ergonomics of it, as long as it's lightweight and things like that, that's fine. But I think it just needs to be cheap and readily available before. It's got to be one of those things, it's almost like buying a gamepad or a mouse or something like that, it's going to be relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, especially like if you want to play multiplayer VR, like if you're going to have multiple headsets or what have you for multiple people.
Because they made a point of that in the Sony thing. They're saying this whole sit on the couch with 3 of your friends playing with a Morpheus and go, yeah, we're all made of money. We're going to be able to afford 4 headsets. They're going to be cost like $300 each or something ridiculous like that.
Plus, like, you have to wear them, like, you can't wear them for too long because it like strains your eyes, so you can only wear them for a limited amount of time. If you're, say, live streaming or whatever, you're gonna look like a freaking idiot. Like with you can't read your chat because you have this big thing on your face. Like that's is never
you can only
catch
do that
on
if you've got HoloLens then
on a live stream thing. Like that, those kind of situations. I'm not sold. I think Sony and Microsoft are they're making the right decision by dipping their toe in and trying to kind of broker these deals, because I think in the future, as these things become more affordable, it'll become more common.
I think Microsoft are actually in the better position because they're teaming up with Oculus and they're teaming up with Steam VR. So they've got the virtual reality bit covered, but they're also doing their HoloLens thing. So they're not gonna they're diving in essentially with something slightly different than the VR thing, but they've got their toe in the water of VR with Oculus and Steam. But yeah, as I said, I'm not brought into this whole VR thing, so but they did show off one of their kind of Sony's VR experience type ones was something called Rigs, and it basically looked like their version of Hawken. You're just running around in big mech suits.
What's not to like?
Yeah, exactly.
Mech suits are always fun, but I'm the same. I'm not really particularly hype about VR, but I know that there are people out there who are really into it and really love the kind of, especially people who are into like horror games, that it's more immersive for that, so then you get more scared, whereas I just get scared anyway, so I don't need to make it more scary. I'm quite happy with the level of scared that I already am.
Talking about horror games, they did show a little bit, a very small amount of their what was it, Until Dawn, the thing with Hayden Panettiere running around in a towel. They showed a tiniest clip of that. But that seems to have been another one of these, it will come out at some time, never, maybe, type ones. Again, if it is very tongue-in-cheek, you know, horror B-movie, almost Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead type thing, it could be a fun... That strikes me as like a fun drunk party game type thing. A bit like PT, but one to play with your mates sort of thing. But... yeah, they didn't show a lot. They made a big point of it last year. I think they did like a good 2-3 minute section on it, whereas this year it's like a 30-second thing in a sizzle reel. So I've got a feeling they've not got too much confidence in it. I
think like when they do these kind of mini sneak peeks, it's just to put these games on people's radars, because like a lot of people pay attention at E3 but not really the rest of the time. Like your kind of casual standard gamer tends to know that you know about E3, you watch and you read the E3 announcements, but I mean we follow gaming news because we're so involved in YouTube and stuff, but not everyone does. So I guess like maybe they're just showing these games to be like, hey, by the way, this is something that we're doing, in case you're into horror. Anything else you want to cover on Sony before we move on? We've been yakking for a little while.
We have. So before we move on, they did make a point of bringing out the guy from Disney to talk about Star Wars Infinity. Infinity 3.0.
Yeah, they've got Disney Infinity, like exclusive Star Wars figurines.
Yeah, what it is, they've got the 2 playsets that's going to be available to everyone. You can get them both together as an exclusive package for PlayStation.
Oh, I thought they were only available to PlayStation.
No, they said they're going to have like the prequel trilogy one and the real trilogy one, but they're going to be like a month apart. But if you buy it for PlayStation, you get this exclusive playset, which is all of them, and you get the real trilogy playset figures a month early. That's it.
Oh, I got confused when I saw that. I thought they actually were like some kind of exclusive.
But it includes Boba Fett as well. That's the exclusive bit. But you know they'll sell Boba Fett later to everybody else anyway, so...
Plus, Boba Fett is just a hyped up stormtrooper. Let's be realistic here.
Oh, the comments, they're going to be going crazy.
People are too hype about Boba Fett. And Boba Fett doesn't even need to be sad about the fate of his father, because all of the stormtroopers are effectively his father. So it's all good.
But
yes, more Star Wars, and I mean, I'm not fussed about Disney Infinity.
No.
I have my 4 amiibos, and I am happy.
Well,
Speaking of amiibos, this is a very
before
good
we move on to amiibos,
seg-
I suppose we should do what Sony closed out their conference with, which was going to be obvious. It was Uncharted 4. And yeah, it was more gameplay footage, but it was quite funny. They make a big thing of, and finally Uncharted 4. They cut to the video, and all you see there is Nathan Drake just stood in the marketplace for about a minute. Somebody obviously didn't plug in a controller, and then the video restarts again, and I want to know, did they plug in a controller in that intermittent time, or did they just cut to pre-recorded gameplay?
Either way, I think they get points. They get points for trying.
Yeah, but it was quite funny. They do this big reveal of, the camera panning down into this cutscene, opens up, and then the game's supposed to start, and all you got is Nathan Drake just stood in this marketplace doing nothing.
We bitch about the fact that they're scripted, and now we're bitching about the fact that they tried to do it unscripted.
I know. I like the fact that obviously this was real, but the fact that it was their very final thing. This Uncharted is their big game. They ended the show with it, and they fucked up right at the end. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I think Uncharted 4, that's going to do well.
It's Uncharted. Of course, it's going to do. It's going to sell a ton of copies because everybody loves Uncharted. Anyway.
Okay, Sony. We're going to be good with Sony because we'll touch on some of the stuff like that they also showed off when we get to like Square Enix and stuff, because Square Enix, because I found out they pronounce it Square Enix, and I've been saying Square Enix for so long because then you can say Squeenix.
Yeah.
Because then when you get hype, you can be like, yeah, Squeenix, like because you're excited. But apparently it's Square Enix, which just does not sound as good. Anyway, before we get to Square Enix, Nintendo, yes. And it wasn't Robot Chicken this year, it was Muppets. Yeah, they had like they had Iwata and Reggie Muppets, and then they had like StarFox, the Rabbit, and Falco Muppets and stuff, and all sorts of little things. And that kicked off. Obviously, we started talking about StarFox Zero on the Wii U.
But I mean, everybody knew this because they kind of showed it off last year, didn't they? Not as part of their main digital event, but they kind of showed Iwata playing with the Wii, and it was StarFox, and everybody knew it. So it was nice to actually see it for ourselves this year, and it looks like old school StarFox, doesn't it? Yeah.
The thing with Nintendo is because they do their digital events, like they do their press, whatever they're called, Nintendo Direct, that's the one, throughout the year anyway. Yeah. Like, they are regularly, like, keeping us up to date on what they're up to and keeping us hype about their new products. So, I think, like, E3 for them is a bit underwhelming compared to, say, Sony and PlayStation, because Sony and PlayStation aren't regularly being like, we're doing this, look at all this that we're doing. Whereas Nintendo are, like, they keep you in the loop. They tell you about, say, the fact that Zelda got pushed back, or that they've already told us about Amiibos, because they're announcing them all the time, and the Animal Crossing game. And we knew about Xenoblade Chronicles, we knew about StarFox, like, so much that they're talking about, we already knew about. But
one thing with the Amiibos, well, not Amiibos, we weren't expecting Skylanders. They've got this crossover with Sky. That was a real surprise when they bring on the guy. Well, Reggie's sat next to the guy from Activision going, Activision makes Skylanders. Why is he doing here? And then the best part is, like, they've got a switch on them, so you can turn them between being a Skylander and an Amiibo. That is fantastic. And it's like, there's a Bowser one with a hammer. Yeah. And it's like especially designed Bowser. The Magma Bowser, yeah. And then there's, like, DK as well. Yeah. And they will be in a Skylanders game. Yeah. But you can turn them into Bowser and DK Amiibos if you wish. I already have a DK Amiibo, so, I feel like this is a waste of money for me. But then Amiibos are a waste of money anyway, so I want to know, is this going to be like the Amiibos? There's going to be like 3 of them and everybody's going to be trying to buy them on eBay? Or is it going to be like Skylanders and there's going to be shelves stacked full of them in-game? Oh, I don't know. Which approach are we taking? Are we taking the Activision approach or are we taking the Nintendo approach with these things? I think in some ways Nintendo's approach is better because they created. I think Nintendo's approach made sense for the launch of Amiibos because they created a false like every other phase, you go right. Well, that's the one that's going to be readily available, and all those are going to be rare as fuck, and I'm not going to be able to buy them unless I get like the marked up version on eBay.
Oh, see, I have a villager amiibo. I got it for Christmas, and this was after they announced that they were
Did
discontinuing.
somebody
I
sell a
forgot that
kidney
I
to get
mentioned
it
to my
for you?
mum, like, I want a villager amiibo. She got me a villager amiibo, and I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, should I leave it in its box? And I was like, no, fuck it. And now he sits on my shelf
You've
looking creepy as fuck,
broken
and
the
I feel
packaging.
like I'm going to get murdered in the night because I have let him out of the box, and I regret my decision thoroughly. But I don't know. I think like the way they've made them collectible in some ways it annoys me because they're so the ones that you want you can't get, and the ones that you don't want are everywhere. Like Princess Peach. No offense, Princess Peach, but I see her everywhere.
Aww.
So amiibo. So we can cover some of the amiibo games while we're on the topic. We should probably just kind of blitz through those things. Animal Crossing amiibo game.
Yes.
I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know.
but-
That was one of the points where my internet dropped out today, so I came back and it was halfway through an Animal Crossing game. I have no idea what it was.
So they had like I think it was two separate Animal Crossing games. One of them was like Animal Crossing for people who like designing houses.
Okay.
So you basically
they've showed that before, though, haven't they?
Yeah, give people their houses. They showed it when they did the amiibo announcement because they have like card amiibos.
Yes, that's it.
That tie into it's called like Happy Homes or something along those lines. But it's like if you're into playing like decorating your house in Animal Crossing, you get to decorate everyone's house.
Okay.
Except that I like hate decorating my house, and it's full of like those little things that you dig up, like these like pillar things that go like boing, boing, boing. That's all that's in my house. Like if I play Animal Crossing, I do not want to decorate my house. I could care less. Couldn't care less. Sorry, I couldn't care less about the Happy Homes Academy. On top of that, they have the Amiibo Animal Crossing game, which is effectively Mario Party, but with Amiibos and Animal Crossing.
Okay,
And
I'm informed now.
That's basically it. So you buy Amiibos and you can play them in this game, more or less. So that was their kind of... I literally think you need Amiibos to play it. Like, the word Amiibo is in the title of the game, so that doesn't look great.
But I mean, if they do the card thing, then it might be slightly more affordable and they might actually be a bit more readily available.
But the thing is, they showed cards for the Happy Homes one, and then they showed figurines for the board game one. So I don't know if they're doing
Unless
both,
you get the game
if you
with
can
the
use
figures.
them across, or how it works. Yeah. The figurines are like the characters in the game. I don't know. I'm not particularly excited. I bought Mario Party 10 and I do not like it.
Okay.
I got drunk and bought it, and I regret it. Even though I played it this weekend.
It's one of those few Wii U games you regret buying, is it?
Well, I regret it, and then I have friends over and we get drunk and we play it.
Okay.
And then the next day I still regret the fact that I bought it, even though we played it. Mostly because I lost twice. And I'm pretty salty about the fact that Bowser was like, "Oh, what's that? You've got the most stars. Well, now everyone's got the same number of stars. Lol, haha. Good game." And it's troll as fuck. What else? Amiibos.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
You get woolly Amiibos. Well,
Yeah,
we've seen these
like,
before
Amiibo
again in a direct, but they did actually show off if you have something like a Mario Amiibo and you touch it to the thing, Yoshi becomes suddenly a Mario dressed up yarn Yoshi.
Yeah, like you've got skins for Yoshi and also yarn Yoshis, which are kind of cool. I think the plushie idea was fantastic, but we've announced that way ages ago. Like I did a vlog about it.
Yeah.
You should go back and watch the vlog in case you forgot about all these things.
There
like,
somewhere,
it has been
okay.
covered. Also, Super Mario Maker.
Yes.
With Amiibo integrated. This one was quite neat, but this one confused me because they were doing little teasers about this announcement.
Yeah, throughout
the conference, and there was a bit where like Mario jumped, and basically when you're playing Mario Maker, you can collect mushrooms that change your costume into an Amiibo, so you can be like a Wii Fit trainer. And when she jumps, she goes up. It's a bit weird, but anyway, so they had these little teasers, and I thought it was just like introducing the next game. So there's one point where it jumped up and he turned into Mega Man, and I was like, no, they're making a Mega Man. And then it was like, nah, we're not making a Mega Man game. We're gonna tell you about Bowser and Donkey Kong in Skylanders. And I was like, oh. But yeah, they've added Amiibo integration into Super Mario Maker. I think Super Mario Maker is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of almost sleeper hit type things. You go, everybody knows what it is, but until people start playing it, they go, "Oh, this is really fun and creative," and more dicks will be drawn.
Yep, basically, like it's gonna be good regardless. What else have we got? We've got Zelda Triforce Heroes on 3DS, which is like a It's kind of like Skyward Sword, not Skyward Sword. There's one Zelda Four Swords, which was on the Game Boy Advance, I want to say, where you played Zelda, but you had like multiple people as links.
Yeah.
And you have to work together to solve puzzles.
And this is about jumping on people's heads and becoming totems and something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like you
and you
can
can dress
stack...
up as well.
Yeah, you can dress up, which seemed like that was like, oh, outfits. But I was more like, oh, yay, multiplayer puzzles.
Yeah.
And they're like, also, there's outfits. Because that's what people care about nowadays.
Yeah, you can dress up like Bomberman type thing and throw a big bomb or something.
Or you can dress up like Zelda if you're into cross-dressing. You can do that too. I think it'll be fun. And I think this is one of the few that's coming out fall 2015. So this is actually one of the sooner rather than later ones. And I think they did a good job in keeping it kind of more hush-hush than some of the other stuff. Like, this is the first I've personally heard of it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that one as well.
Mm-hmm. On top of that, sticking with the Zelda theme, we have Hyrule Warriors, which is actually not made by the people who make Zelda. It's made by Koei, I want to say Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
Yep, coming to the 3DS. Incidentally, this week, you guys on our YouTube series voted that I should be playing Hyrule Warriors. Admittedly on the Wii U, not on the 3DS, but there will be a Hyrule Warriors video coming out, so... Also,
watch it first on the Patreon page.
If you don't have a Wii U, it's coming out on the 3DS in Q1 2016.
Yeah.
But Hyrule Warriors is pretty fun. It's basically Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda skin.
But like, for the 3DS one, they're doing more Wind Waker type characters in it as well.
Yeah, they've added... So you get everything that you had before and Wind Waker stuff, I think, is the kind of... the kicker. And Wind Waker's great, so I'm not going to buy it. I have it on the Wii U, but... For those of you who don't and like Hyrule Dynasty Warriors, then that's announced. Also, Metroid. Ooh, Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Which looks like it's co-op one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a multiplayer one. You have multiple people, Samuses, Sami. We're going to go down this weird
we're doing this again, aren't we?
But yeah, another kind of multiplayer one. And I think they're really kind of stressing the multiplayer aspect of the 3DS during the Nintendo Direct, because you had the Zelda Triforce where they're like, oh, and you can play with people online who you're not in the same room with. And then it's like the Metroid one is again like more multiplayer stuff with 3DS. No, didn't really get that much of a feel other than some like shots.
They made a point in the multiplayer, but they weren't kind of pushing the couch co-op type thing that hard. They I think they were leaning more towards the online, which
I mean it's 3DS, so you don't tend to get 3DS couch co-op that much.
But it's one of those. If you've got a 3DS, it is nice to hang out with your mates, play. But
but then you all have to buy the games.
Yes.
Effort. So what else have we got? We had more Fire Emblem, so Fire Emblem Fates.
Yeah, it's just more Fire Emblem. It looked like.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem, it's a fairly standard. Like you turn on permadeath and then you keep replaying the level because you don't want your characters to die. Like why even turn on permadeath if you're actually going to just quit as soon as your players die? But
so
that's what
many
everyone
saves.
does. Yeah, although I think apparently you have options now where you don't have to do that and stuff. So Fire Emblem, everybody, the game where your characters can die or you can keep turning the game on and off again. It's reminiscent of like my childhood in games where like you would like save scam if like you messed up or what have you. Wait, like you had game over, so instead you would just like be like, nah, I'm just gonna load my save.
Yeah. What else did we have? We had Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which looks like a cross between regular 3D Mario and Paper Mario.
Yep. I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
No, all I saw was you can turn Paper Mario into a paper airplane and hang off him, and yeah.
And we also had Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
yes.
Again, I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
No, they did have this weird, what was it, Yokai Watch thing, which was
Yokai Watch.
Yeah. It looked like some sort of weird Pokemon mixed with Luigi's Mansion ghost catching type thing. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it was weird. They basically announced two stuff that they didn't really clarify. One of them was Yokai Watch, and the other one was like Altus FE, which had a load of like Japanese anime people, like in skimpy outfits and stuff. I was a bit I didn't really understand what it was.
Yeah, that was another weird one. But then again, Atlas games are always fucking weird, apart from Persona. But Persona's weird, but you can kind of follow that one. This, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. And like they didn't really clarify, and then it had like a Japanese name, and then just the big letters F and E. Like, so that was another thing. So like if you're into like strange Japanese things, then that one. And like I don't know, Yokai Watch, I think you need more information. It was another kind of teaser, like where this is what we're doing. We're going to talk about it.
It'll be in a direct in a couple of months, you know it.
Yeah. But that's basically Nintendo. I was disappointed, but I think it's just because
previous years we've said, well, there you go, Nintendo's won E3. This year, a lot of it was stuff we've seen before. So there wasn't any real big surprises. But then again, one thing Nintendo do that the others don't is they kind of spread their news out across the week. So we've just had, at the time of recording, Nintendo digital event, but they've got their treehouse thing, and they'll probably sneak out a few bits more information which won't be in this podcast, but there'll probably be some announcements that we didn't get that will kind of surprise us.
I think that, plus if you kind of compile everything that they do in their direct events, like if you could kind of condense a year's worth down, they actually do announce a lot of stuff. It's just that E3 is maybe not the best place. But yeah, we're going to end this one without a dick joke.
Well, we did Mario Maker. There's going to be dicks drawn in that. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we had dick jokes earlier, so we're kind of like easing you in. We're just going to go like straight for it. Anyway, Square Enix was the last one. There was also a PC one, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah, the PC gaming one, but I can't be asked to try and edit all this down after that one, so yes.
You're gonna miss the Half-Life 3 announcement. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, Steam said they're not there in any way.
PC Games Conference, what's it gonna be? Anyway, Square Enix, we're gonna kind of blast through this.
Because not a lot was said that wasn't already in all the other conferences.
Yeah, like we talked about Chibi Final Fantasy, we talked about Final Fantasy 7, which is now also coming to iOS. That was their announcement.
Yes, but the fact is, the iOS version is coming out before the PlayStation version that they promised. So you know that a lot of the Square Enix conference was focused on mobile, because we had, what was it, Lara Croft Go, which is kind of their version of what they did last year with Hitman.
Yeah, there was a Kingdom Hearts mobile game as well.
Yeah, so it was really heavily geared towards the mobile thing.
Which I find weird, because I don't really feel like mobile gamers tend to watch E3.
No, like, it's kind of, if you're going to announce that sort of thing, do it at, one of the mobile conferences, Game Developer Conference or something like that. E3 tends to be for, your core gamer on PC and console, not so much mobile. But yeah, the whole thing with the Square Enix conference, I thought was, I know there's a bit of a language barrier, because obviously Japanese company, a lot of Japanese developers and big wigs from Square Enix there, so there was a language barrier thing, but it felt very, very stiff.
No, John, there was a guy whose head was
the guy
moon.
with the moon head. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, there was loads of Japanese guys, and then at one point there was this was it like a Nier game?
Yeah, the new Nier game. But that's basically the Platinum influence, isn't it? Platinum are just fucking out there anyway. And then this guy
with his head was a moon, and he's like talking, and then there's I guess he's talking in Japanese, because there's also someone like saying what he's saying, like a translator, but I didn't understand what the fuck was going on, and I just came through and it was just like this guy his head is a moon, and like it was just like kind of a what the fuck kind of moment. So, like normally when they have the cosplay dudes, like they either talk to them briefly or they just like have them walk on stage.
It's like the Plants vs Zombie guy came on, they just shoved him off. Yeah, okay,
or
there's
like
a neat little thing.
Ubisoft with the Assassin's Creed guy, where they spoke to him briefly in the audience and then that was it. Whereas like this guy, he was like telling us about this game. I had no idea what was going on. And then right at the end, they brought everyone back on stage, including the Moonhead guy, and I was like, that is the best way to end, because we can just like be more confused.
But yeah, a lot of it was kind of really stiff, whereas you got all the other conferences, they've got the presenters wandering around stage. This was everybody's at a lectern just reading off the auto cue. It just... Yeah, let's just say I might have caught up on some sleep during the Square Enix conference.
But I mean, they had like stuff we'd already seen. So like Rise of the Tomb Raider, they talked about a little bit, but we'd already seen that. That was already in the...
yes, but we had
Microsoft
the behind-the-scenes video where we're going to concentrate on the pores in her skin and the eyelashes, snow falling on her eyelashes and things like that. What the fuck?
So pretty. Yay.
Okay, we know you've got the technology to do this. Can we just show us the game?
I mean, the one thing I really want to know that they still haven't clarified is Microsoft keeps saying it's Xbox exclusive, but like, there's still kind of a question of whether it's timed exclusive or PC/Xbox exclusive, or like whether it's going to be on PlayStation at all,
I think
which
everybody
really been
knows. It's not been clarified, but everybody knows it's a timed exclusive, but there's not been any details what the time period is. Is it 6 months? Like is it 9 months?
GTA
a year?
5, 2
what?
years.
Yeah. So
2 years. By which point they'll have like I don't know, like something of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, more mobile games.
I can't think of. I'm not good at naming video games.
Yeah.
Their sequel I don't know, Fall of the Tomb Raider. There you
Yeah,
go.
we've had the Rise, might as well have the Fall.
Then they covered Hitman, which was also part of Sony. We didn't mention it because it's coming up in Square Enix. That was neat in that they were talking about the fact that like there's lots of different tactics to how you
but that's
people.
always a kind of stalwart of the Hitman games. It's a case of they're calling this just Hitman. It's not Hitman something else. So is this a kind of reaction to kind of the bad press Hitman Absolution got and that? So are they going for almost a reboot type thing? Whereas, you know, they did it with Tomb Raider. They basically had the reboot, which was just Tomb Raider. Is this essentially a reboot? They're kind of going back to its roots type deal. The one thing I did pick up on this was they said something about for everybody that plays the game there's going to be a target, and that target might only be about in the world for a very limited period of time, and once they disappear you can no longer take out that target. That's quite a cool idea. How it plays out in practicality, I've no idea.
Nope, I don't know, but I think it looks like they're kind of trying to do new, more kind of interesting things and make it so that you like actually can be stealthy if you choose to, as opposed to like every other game where you just kind of go in and shoot people.
Talking about other games where you go in and shoot people and you've got the option to be stealthy but everybody goes in and shoots people. Deus Ex Mankind Divided again didn't actually show anything new about this. It's a case of we kind of saw footage, well, CG trailer footage we saw a month ago, 2 months ago.
But John, the Illuminati. They have included the Illuminati in the game.
Yes.
They are basically, they gave us some storyline stuff about like Jensen on his new mission.
Yes.
Where he's working to uncover the Illuminati. Like, I was just, when I saw it, I was like, wow. Like, I feel like you are pandering to the internet with this storyline.
But as you'd expect with Deus Ex, there's lots of new augments and upgrades and things like that. You could shoot your blades out of your arms and become projectiles, and it's just more Deus Ex, which I can get behind.
Yep, if you like Deus Ex, there's more of it.
Yep.
Just everybody wins. Same with Just Cause. If you like Just Cause, there's more of it.
More explosions! More explosions! Yeah, Just Cause like does look like a lot of fun.
But GTA just did this whole thing with the grapple hook, GTA 5.
Yeah.
And then now they were like, oh, and you can grapple the helicopter to the ground or the man to the exploding barrel.
Yeah.
And it's like, didn't they just do that in GTA 5?
Haven't people been doing that in Gary's Mod for years?
Yep, we can grapple everything to everything. And then they're like, also, we've developed the parachute, so now that you have like parachute
it's more
combat.
stable to shoot with.
Yeah, so while you're floating through the air, you can also shoot other people, which, you know, if you want to be like a parachuting death gunman from above, then Just Cause, let's just do it.
I don't care. More explosions. Yeah, more Just Cause is good. And they rounded out their conference by talking about a new studio. Was it Tokyo RPG Factory, which is making a typically Japanese RPG.
Well, I mean, their name is literally a place in Japan, RPG, and then factory. So, you know, if they weren't mass producing RPG, like JRPGs,
I just got this image of the just production line. We're going to make another RPG.
Yeah, just like what do we want? We want turn-based. Anime. Japan. Like, there you go. Sorted. Weird is also often a good option.
And that's Square Enix's conference. Wheel everybody out.
No.
Moon guy. Bow.
No, you
done.
missed the best part, John.
Gone.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
I forgot about
the trailer had a literal train in it, so we could all get aboard the hype train. That is Disney and Final Fantasy's love child. Like, there was a spinning teacups ability.
Yes.
Well, like, you can use Disney fairground rides in your game, and then they kind of teased about the fact that they were going to bring Tangled into the whole thing. And then they showed off some gameplay. Goofy is still making his weird Goofy noises. Like, for me, that was all I needed. Like, I don't even care that they've shown most of the Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff before, and they mentioned it about 8 years ago at E3. Like, that was me. I was on that hype train, like, swirling around that boss, and I don't care about any of the other Square Enix stuff, except for maybe Chibi Final Fantasy.
And on that note, I think that's probably a good place to round it up.
Yeah, so this has been E3. You can pick one game. What is your one game of E3?
One game of E3. Oh, no, I've got to go back.
You can tell you what. You can pick one sequel and one new game.
Oh, one sequel.
Make it,
okay, one sequel will probably be South Park. I can get
Fractured
behind
butthole.
more Sapphire.
Fractured butthole.
The fractured butthole, yes. Ooh, new title. Oh, I like the unraveled thing. I do like that.
I knew you were gonna go for
yeah,
the
that was
dude.
cute. I love that. I will go unraveled and fractured butthole. What about you?
So I think I'm gonna have to go even though I don't even own a PlayStation, I feel like I'm gonna have to go Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, it's gonna be so good. That one I'm pretty damn hype about. Although Gears 4 is like a close second because I'm gonna be greedy and have 2. My new game, I'm really excited to see more about Recall. I think it looks like an interesting concept. The character, like the protagonist, looks kind of interesting. That we have like this female who has like robot companions. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Spring 2016, so we should get more on it fairly soon in the next few months.
I've got a feeling they might show something at Gamescom in a couple of months or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully. And those are mine. I think. Do you want to pick a winner / loser of the show, or are we just going to kind of wrap it up there?
I'm leaning towards Microsoft might have actually won.
Yeah, I think Microsoft actually did really
they
well.
had
I think
a
the backwards
really
compatibility...
strong event, and it's all very slick. It was just games. There was no hint of TV talk about sports. It was just here's more games. Here's another exclusive. I think
Microsoft did well. I think Bethesda did well for like their own content, and that you've got the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But for me, Microsoft, they had the backwards compatibility. They had new hardware in terms of like your controller, your HoloLens, your VR, all of those kind of things. They had indie games. They then had new IPs from both Rare and from Recall. They had sequels they had Halo and Gears. Like I feel like they just kind of touched on everything. And that game like Gigantic that they teased at, which was like you had like different classes and stuff. Like they kind of teased enough. They gave enough information. I think they just had a very well-rounded conference, and they didn't fuck up right.
That seems to be the key to E3. Don't fuck up.
And on that note, we should probably stop before we fuck up.
Exactly,
John. But yeah, this has been a Kilobits podcast where Peter just ditched us halfway through because why the fuck not, apparently. But I've been Francesca, and I've been joined by John.
Yes, hello, goodbye. Yes, I was John.
And if you want more podcasts, we've said it twice.
Yes.
So, at this point, I feel like you're now obligated. Like, we can't ask anymore because it's rude, but the fact that you haven't contributed to the Patreon at this point means that we can no longer be friends, and thus, I don't think you can be a bitizen of the Kilobits anymore. But yeah, guys, if you want more of this kind of stuff, and also to help support us making content, patreon.com/the Kilobits. Social media, if you're into that, we've got our Twitter handles, personal Twitter and Kilobits Twitter below us, but Kilobits is at the Kilobits. It's fairly obvious, and then facebook.com/the Kilobits.
Yeah.
Like we're pretty generic.
Just type the Kilobits in, you'll find us somewhere.
And after we've been talking, no, John, they're gonna end up with pornhub.com/the Kilobits.
No, I haven't reserved that one.
But yeah, with the floppy and the dongle and everything in between.
There we go. We've ended on dick jokes.
A podcast, and we've ended on dicks. Yes, good job. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, bye.